Oh.
Oh.
That was a little bit weird, but yeah, we're good. Okay, so hello. It's happened. The NRL season is upon us. Round 1 of the 2023 NRL season is set to commence in about an hour's time, but we are here, obviously, for the lead-up, the prelude to the season, if you will. Welcome, one and all. This is going to be a very interesting and exciting year for 2023, but hard to say what's going to happen. But without further ado, we'll just quickly have a look currently stating at the starting 13. This hasn't been fully confirmed yet. I will probably in the due process actually get up what the main one will be, but this is currently what it's set at. For Parramatta, you got Gutherson, Sevo, Penasini, Blake, Lumi, Dylan Brown, and Mitchell Moses. In the backs, and you've got Regan Campbell-Gillard, Josh Hodgson, Junior Paulo, Bryce Cartwright, Matt Dory, and Jermaine Hopgood. And then when it comes to the Melbourne Storm, you've got Nick Meaney, Will Warbrook, Remus Smith, Young, Tuanamapia, Xavier Coates, Cameron Muster, and Jerome Hughes. And the forwards consists of Nelson Asova Solomona, Harry Grant, Christian Welch, Trent Lorio, Elisa Katoa, and Josh King. So that is currently how it stands at the moment when I did put that up, which was around about 20 minutes ago. So it's very much could have changed. So I'm actually just going to have a quick check right now to see if the full team lists have come in, because usually they come in around like 50 minutes before the match starts. Just going to check if they've... Okay, the Storm have pretty much confirmed their team. We're just waiting now for Parramatta to fully seal in their team for 2023. For the team, the team for the opening game of 2023, I should be saying. But yeah, very interesting times to say the very least. Just going to be looking over in between, looking at side to slides. There we go. Chat's going to take a little bit slow to actually get up to, so apologies if it does start acting up and like chat. There we go. Now chats are starting to actually pop up. Lumi against his old club. Matter of fact, he also debuted against us back in 2021. He finally returns to first grade after a year. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting game and a very interesting season to say the very least. I feel genuinely, when it comes to this year for rugby league, it's so much closer now. Like 2021 was probably the most dominant because it was like two teams against the rest. You started seeing teams now catch up in 2022. Now this year there is so much. You can make cases for about genuinely like 11 or 12 teams to make the 8. You got a lot of teams you can vouch for not making the 8. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all does play out. Agreed, top 8 was really hard to predict this year. Yeah, look, I had, genuinely, because I felt other teams improved, I actually had Storm at 8, which is bold. But it's weird. It's like it's just a lot of teams have gotten better, and some haven't. It's gonna be completely hard. New Destiny 2 overlays, but well, one thing that's gonna be interesting is obviously there's got to be money on the line. So this is what I have in terms of tips of what I think is gonna happen in this match. I've got Parramatta to win. I've got Micah Sevo and Clint Gutherson to score for the Parramatta Eels. And Remus Smith, who currently is starting in the centre, thought he was going to start on the wing, but he's going to be in the centre for the Melbourne Storm, and that will put $2 on that. You know, it's exciting when it's the start of the season when you got to put $2 on it. Got them 6. Yeah, it's going to be It's going to be very weird to see how it becomes. Also, I've got a fan currently going on at the moment. It's not aimed at this, but I just want to know how the sound is. Like, can you, like, is it noticeable or whatever? I don't think it should be too bad. I've had it on over the last couple of streams, especially in the mornings, because for some reason it's humid as all hell. But anyway, it's now 55 minutes away from the kickoff of the season. Just having a look to see if Parramatta have now locked in their teams. Yes, they have, so I'm just going to do a little bit of fine-tuning. I do believe in terms of the starting 13, it is the exact same. I'm just going to check, actually. Bear with me quickly for a second. I just want to check to see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, pretty much. Yep, that is pretty much the selected starting lineup, so we don't have to change anything there. Love anytime try scorer, definitely. I've got King Gutho. Oh, Gutho first try scorer, yeah, definitely. I forgot if it's been so long. I've forgotten the means. Oh, they're playing metal. They're playing. There's a rock and metal band playing to hype up rugby league. It's been a while since that's been the case. Usually, it's all been like rap and R&B and just regular pop. But yeah, good to see. I mean, not that saying anything's wrong with pop and rap and R&B. It's just, you know, it's good to see a little bit of oomph, you know, into the to say the least. It's kind of like, I mean, it's times are changing. Popular music is very much conflicting, but you know. So currently, in terms of the poll at the moment, in the very early parts, it was still 54 minutes away from the start. It is currently in favour of Parramatta taking the win. It is a bit weird how Melbourne are the favourites in this match, even though obviously Parramatta in the last couple of years have had the more dominant record. I believe it's Parramatta have won the last 4, but there is also an interesting stat which I was not made aware of for the Melbourne Storm is under Craig Bellamy, the Melbourne Storm have never lost round 1. But by the way I feel, that's ending tonight. That's how I feel. I think Parramatta's going to come out of the shed a bit more oomph. Obviously, they've got to make a statement. They've got one of the better teams in the NRL in the Melbourne Storm, and they're coming off a grand final loss. They need to come out of the gates firing. Like, I genuinely would not be shocked if it's a Parramatta just belt Melbourne and just immediately throw down a gauntlet. Metaphorically, obviously. I don't know whether it would actually pick up a legitimate gauntlet. So yeah, so pretty much that's going to be the whole thing. It's going to be, I don't know, it's weird, it's exciting. But one thing I do actually want to get into a little bit here is, so this right here, this is my fantasy team currently at the moment. Now, obviously when I did make the video, afterwards I did make a fair amount of changes. There is one thing that has happened today which I might need to have a look at, and that is in the case of Burr Thermore. So for those who don't know what's happened in recent news over the last couple of hours, is both Thermore has done his ACL and he's going to be out for pretty much, best case, a significant portion of the season. Worst case scenario, he's not playing at all this year, which is very unfortunate for him. I very much like him as a player, so I need a replacement edge. So pretty much getting rid of him, that basically would put us at around 994,000. So pretty much we could get any edge we want. So currently at the moment, so how much we got? 994,000. And we got 41 minutes till lockout, so I have to make some form of a decision pretty quickly. So pretty much when it gets to like 10 minutes before the season. So 10 minutes before the season starts. So currently at the moment, in terms of the more expensive players, Sean Lane, Angus Crichton obviously ruled out. Sean Lane with his injury and Angus Crichton with his bipolar diagnosis. Isaiah Papali'i is the most expensive one. 886,000. I don't even know how many people would actually own him. 6% own him. But I think the price is a bit steep. Could get Fafita, who that actually might be a very decent shout. I'll look at R2. Just looking through overall with average points. Tyson Frizzell, I've actually, you know what, I'll probably just. My gosh, but then again, I've got like I've got 4 Knights players. And I feel like that might be a little too much if I do bring in Tyson Frizzell. Josh Curran is also a decent player, but then again, I think it's another case of I also have too many Warriors players. I don't know, it's going to be a hard one. Interested on how you put... on how you put Dominic Young as VC. It's just, I feel like people are fucking accept. It's like, I don't know, I mean, people fucking had to go at me when I had Marcelo Montoya as vice captain, and then in the first game of the trials, he scored a hat-trick, so it's hard to tell. Who knows what will happen? You know, in actuality, you know what, I'll do it right here. Marcelo Montoya as vice captain. Kick out for the Dogs could be an interesting one. You got Nanai. It can't be a Dragons player because the Dragons don't play this week. I don't have any Bulldogs, and I do think the Bulldogs are going to have a big year. I might as well just get at least one of them being kick out. And then we've still got about 300,000 to throw around with if we want to make any like last minute changes before the actual end of this thing starts. Luke Garner wouldn't be bad shout, bro. He's going to improve a lot. Luke Garner, alright. We'll just have a look back here. Let's look Garner's price. If we go to... we just filter by edges. Shit. Fuck. Luke Garner, where is he? Where is that man? Where is the Garner? There he is. 478k. That's actually not bad. Just trying to think if I do make any other changes there. Yeah, you know what? I'll back the Garner. I'll back the Garns, and we still have 500k to throw around. In terms of thinking, I do quite like Ray Stone, and I probably would like to keep him somewhat. But yeah, it's going to be... you need to change and buy as well. That is true. I mean, it is currently at emergency, but we'll just transfer that. Could have made it a lot more smoother with the transitions, but I like to slow things so it's not just an instant like jarring like absolute conglomerate. But so Moses and the problem is I have Moses in my emergency. So, how much money would we have? We currently would have 800,000, so we could bring in a fairly, like, sizable player. Just trying to have a look at who would we go for. It's gonna be hard to tell. In fairness, I do have this, I think it's Jake Turner for the Bulldogs, just for the sole purpose of, like, no one... oh, 2.6. When I had him, he was at 0.0. Literally, like, no one had him. Must have only just recently got promoted. But, I could go for a mid. Fisher Harris. What do we think about Fisher Harris? Say, put him up in edge. So basically say, bring Hamlin Uele down to, I don't know, maybe like on the bench or something, or emergency. Oh shit, what? Oh, sorry, what did I just... anyways, bro, gotta go now, get ready for my stream, enjoy the game, and go Para. Very much so. Now we've got, now another vote's now been brought into the poll, and currently it's 2... oh, James Shipley, hello my friend. I was wondering who did come the second vote, and then I saw obviously your profile and I was profile picture, and I was like, yeah, of course he's gonna pick Barra, of course he is. But yeah, I think with this, probably when it comes to NRL fantasy, I probably might bring in Fisher Harris actually. Might swap Hamlin who I'll probably, yeah, did I just get rid of him? God damn it. Bring in Fisher Harris in. I think Fisher Harris is a bit of a dog. Got to get some of that dog in you. Bring him in for Hamlin Uele, maybe even bring Hamlin away in for Ray Stone. You know, whatever you like really. But yeah, this game is going to be fairly interesting. Gotta say now, as we're still 45 away. They're just currently showing Isaiah Katoa, obviously calling his parents of getting his debut in the NRL. So just going through the, just going to write down the lineup. So whilst we are here, if we can, I don't know, probably like bring in some question for the chat. I liked your video, so good. Thanks, James. Just trying to think, can we do a poll and a questionnaire at the same time? I don't know if this is going to work, because I know this is a relatively new thing. Yes, we can. Okay, start a Q&A. Are you a Para fan? No, I am a Knights fan, James. But I do have a fair amount of my extended family who do support the Eels, so there is a little bit of a soft spot to them. But okay, what's a good Q&A question? Just trying to think. Q&A question. Here we go. Predictions for 2023. Put your predictions for 2023 here. Thank you, James. So, I don't know how this is going to work with both of them at the same time, but here we go. So, there we go. There is a Q&A thing there. So apparently you can like click on it or something like that. I haven't really properly fleshed it out to see how it works, but see if you just got any season predictions, put them in there, and we'll react to it and see how you think this is all going to go down by the end of the year. I think it'd be very exciting to say the least. Pretty much, I'm going to do this whilst I'm writing down the team sheet. Basically, it's what I do is I write the team sheet on a piece of paper so I can actually like read the names. Here's an example of a full one I did. This was for it was during one of the trial games, which I didn't end up doing, but it's Roosters Manly. Write all the numbers down, you know. Have some error of professionalism. Currently still with the poll here, and it is 4 votes, all of them going in favour of the Eels. I think it's weird. It's like the only people that don't think the Eels are going to win is the betting markets, obviously putting the Storm in favour. So 5, 22, 12, 13. So it's going to be, I don't know, in terms of my predictions, I think the main ones are, I tipped the Cowboys to get the minor premiership, which is a bit interesting now, but I think could hold some waiver value. I've put the Dragons to get the wooden spoon this year. I put my team, the Knights, at around, I think it was 10th. So I don't think we're going to make the finals. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying we're going to make the bottom 4. I do think we have the team that could advance a little bit further up, but obviously it's still going to be very hard to tell with some circumstances. So just now going through the interchange now, just to, you know, write down the numbers of 14, 15. Obviously, one player I am looking out for, I don't even know if he's even been selected here. No, he hasn't. Shit. Was for Parramatta, not Makahesi Makatoa. He has been selected. Jariah Mamasia, obviously from the Newcastle Knights, now at the Eels. Had a fairly alright season, you know, but unfortunately, he hasn't been selected for round 1. Okay, 18, not even as the injury reserve, so. But pretty much now, Panthers first or second without injuries. Rabbitohs will be tough, possible second. Yeah, I do agree with that. Who do I think will win in 2020? As much as I know it's a game where it's with their biggest rivals featured, and it's probably the hardest year, I do think I still have a shout that Penrith win this year, which I know it's like but they'll have lost a lot of players, which would be very impressive if they do. But I don't. It's hard to tell. Like, a lot of people have picked the Roosters to win, which I'm still not fully convinced that they can. I mean, in fairness, I'm just a bloke that sits in his room and makes shit videos, but basically, it's hard to tell. It's like for example, it's like a lot of people having the Titans now challenging for finals. Now, obviously today, Bo Fermor's now out, so there's a lot of stuff that could change. Like, for all we know, like, I think the big thing with the Roosters as well is if they get injuries, because that kind of screwed them over last year. Okay. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. We'll go over here. Let's put my questions in there for 2023. I'm just going to advance through this because... just looking over in terms of the live streaming, stuff like that, you know, just doing... It's hard to... It's very hard to tell this year. That's one thing I think we can all agree on. It's not like there's like one or two teams that are cut out like going to win. You can make a case genuinely for like 4 or 5 teams to win the premiership this year, which is kind of what I like to see. It's not like the Super League where it's like St Helens win it for 4 years straight. But in fairness, there are a lot of teams that are actually starting to get better over there. Okay. So still looking at the poll at the moment. Currently 4 votes in, or still all in favour of Parramatta. I just remembered I wrote that through. But Sharks 3rd, Roosters 4th, Storm maybe 7th or 8th. Yeah, I have the Storm in 8th. I was actually tempted to put them outside of the 8th. But Josh Hodgson making his comeback. He's played 1 NRL game in the past 546 days. That's going to be good for him to probably get back out there. I believe it was his knee, wasn't it? That was the problem, or with Josh Hodgson. Okay, so now I've got to write down the actual names. Just write down the numbers, but we'll now get into it. Blake. There we go. Nick Meaney. I will say this Storm team, I don't know if this is controversial to say, but I feel like this is probably the weakest the Storm team had. Like a field Storm squad, I genuinely think it is the weakest. And it's not saying they're bad, but I think it's like, compared to teams they've had over the last couple of years, I genuinely do think it is the weakest team they've ever had. Like, even from like the beginning. But in fairness, back in like 2 years of them existing, they won a title. So I don't know. I actually don't even know if Tarek Sims is playing. I only breezed through the starting 13, but we will go through. We'll go through it soon. Lumi. Gonna be interesting to see how he goes. You got Xavier Coates. I hope Coates has a good year. Brown and Moses. That's going to be a good signing for Moses, staying in Parramatta. I think it's probably the best decision for either side. It's like, I really didn't really see him going too well if he did join the Tigers. It's just a whole weird situation there. But for those wondering, if you want any tips, if you are over the age of 18, kids, don't gamble. But This is what I'm putting money on. I'll put a whole $2 on it, so if I don't get it, it's carpet for lunch. Basically, I've got Parramatta to win, Micah Sevo and Clint Gutherson to score at any time for Parramatta, and I've got Remus Smith to score any time for Melbourne. Only thing I'm a little bit concerned of is that Remus Smith is starting in the centres when usually he is on the wing. He's going to be alongside Warbrick, so it'll be... sorry, that's got nothing to do with that. Sorry, that's those are just the lineup templates that I've been trying to do with the Super League. I tried to get them done for the NRL, but I haven't had time to. Maybe in the next couple of rounds you see them. So if you just want to look, this is what they look like. This was for the Salford versus Hull Kingston Rovers match, which was last week. I believe it was Friday morning last week. So if you are awake at godly hours of the morning, Yeah, you can check me out on Fridays and Saturdays when I do the Super League. Just gonna end this whole Q&A thing because I feel like this whole background for like the actual YouTube studio will brick itself because my laptop's like a couple of years old. And it's not like dying or anything, but you know, just gotta be like concerned about like certain aspects. Campbell Gillard. The big mustache, he's gonna be good this year. But you also got, I just realised it's the battle of the double-barreled names, as you got a Sofa Solomona lining up against him. It's gonna be really good. Still 35 away from kickoff. It's gonna take its time, really. Just looking through, so Josh Hodgson is starting at hooker. Hodgson, Paulo, Cartwright, and Dory. That's my cat's name. That's good to see. Christian Welch is the captain. I think it's a good decision. I think he's a very good player. You got Elisa Katoa. Excited to see how he goes. I think out of some of the other signings that Melbourne have made, I am excited to see how Elisa Katoa does go. But yeah, Tarek Sims not playing. Jermaine Hopgood and Josh King, and now we've written down the starting 13. Oh, Momasia is selected. Sorry, my mistake. I'm actually blind. Momasia is playing. He's named the number 14 for Melbourne. But yeah, they're currently interviewing, I was about to say Cameron Smith, but Craig Bellamy, obviously the coach of the Melbourne Storm. Okay, we got another vote into the poll. Has differentiated, and it has. Someone has picked Melbourne to win this game. There we go. So it's not a complete, absolute whitewash. Which it's good to see. It's good to see there is some discourse and difference in a society. Didn't have to get preachy there. Wishart, McDonald. Oh, okay. Hang on. So that's Harry Grant. Now you also got a Jordan Grant. Then you've got some bloke called Garlic. Basically, the K onto the spice. And then you got Jake Arthur and Chris Lewis, who are the injury replacements, the number 18s. So there we have it. We've got the teams written down. So good stuff. I'm just trying to see. It's weird. As long as the camera's like this, I think it's like too bright. So that might be the reason why it's ootin' snootin' a little bit, because the frame, it does mess up with the framing somehow, unless I probably make it absolutely bright as all hell. But even still, it doesn't really affect it that much. I don't think it's like too choppy or anything, but it is slightly noticeable that the framework is a little bit weird. Eels could finish 5th if they stop losing to lower rung teams. This has always happened each year. Broncos lack consistency and maybe top 8, but Cowboys are better. Yeah, that definitely is true. It definitely is true. Oh, the 144 ones. I've probably said that wrong. But top 8: Roosters, Cowboys, Panthers, Rabbitohs, Sharks, Broncos, Eels, Manly. No Bulldogs. Yeah, it's very interesting how a lot of people are trying to think. I did see. Oh, it's a bloke on TikTok, Patrick Gillespie. He did a hot take saying the Bulldogs don't make the 8, which is interesting because there's obviously like a big, massive bandwagon currently at the moment with the Bulldogs for this year. Because they've got really good players bringing in from all across the NRL. If it was all located in the mountains of Western Sydney, but you know it's fun to see. It is genuinely exciting to see teams actually start to slowly progress and get better. Except if you're a Knights fan like me, we're just stuck in an ever constant pit. So, okay, half an hour now away from the start of the match. What I will say here is, well, if you're watching this for the pre-game, thank you. I guess just looking at this person's wearing all sorts of clothes in a sort of very still 24 degrees at the moment, and it gets very humid around these parts. So, and it's 7:30 at night. It's ridiculous, to say the least. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this is going to go. So for the rest of the week, if you are interested in rugby league in terms of streaming, tomorrow morning I'll be doing I believe it's the Warrington Wolves playing against the Salford Red Devils, and I'll be doing the doubleheader for the NRL on Friday night, which is my team, the Knights, playing over in New Zealand against Warriors, and the Panthers taking on the Broncos. Saturday morning, I'll be doing the St Helens versus Leeds Rhinos, which is the grand final rematch from last year in the Super League. And I believe also St Helens' first home game since beating Penrith in the World Club Challenge. Well, I'm an Eels supporter. I can't have the Bulldogs in the top 8. That is true. Good point. That's a good point. It was hard enough to have Manly in the 8. That is true. I can understand that. And then obviously with the Saturday games, I'm only doing the 3 PM game on Saturday, which is of course the Manly Sea Eagles up against the Canterbury Bulldogs, basically because in the afternoon tonight is my cousin's 21st. And I'm excited to go to that. I wouldn't miss that. But then on Sunday, we'll be doing the doubleheader, obviously, which is the Dolphins up against the Roosters. Can't say Redcliffe. And finishing off with the West Tigers up against the Gold Coast Titans, which hopefully is just a slight bit better than what it was like when they played last year. I'll be back. I'm just going to change a little bit because it's like I'm wearing like a suit, pants, and like a jacket. It's been ridiculously warm. It's just a bit nuts. Just care for yourself. Luckily, there's no like camera angle that can catch me slipping. Not like other streamers where they accidentally reveal something shocking or accidentally masturbate when they thought they weren't streaming. But yeah, you're just staring at a screen. I don't even know if my voice has even been picked up at this point. It could be just be complete and utter silence, but I do think with the amount of I can see the levels of the mic going, so I'd assume it is picking up something, somewhat. Ugh. Take off the sock. Oh. Hello. There you go, see there's a bit of head action there. Alright, there we are. This actually might work with the white balance anyways, it's just... Had a big day, had university. That's the thing, so it's just a whole... Okay, so there we go, so just staying here. Framework's completely fine, but we'll say fair amount of Storm fans I've been seeing in the crowd as they're obviously watching the lineups for both teams just wearing out. So Meany, yep, is at fullback. I actually just realised, yeah, why isn't Pappenhausen playing? Apparently he's injured. So there you go, bro. Game-breaking news. We did just go up to 6 votes, and okay, there we go. So now I've got 2 votes in favour of the Storm now. Still a majority for Parramatta, but it's starting to close down a little bit. Maybe obviously when we get to the point where the game does get to the point where it's about to start, we'll probably get maybe an influx of people. Maybe, though, it's not. It's about the integrity. It's about the integrity somewhat. But, yeah, we can just go through the team list here. This is currently what the starting 13 is set to look like. So obviously you've got, we'll just go through them really. So for Parramatta, you've got Clinton Gutherson at fullback, Marcus Sevo and Isaac Lumi on the wings with Will Penasini and Waka Blake in the centres. with Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses as the 5'8" and halfback. Regan Campbell-Gillard, Josh Hodgson and Junior Paulo as the prop hooker props, with Bryce Cartwright and Matt Dory in the second row, with Jermaine Hopgood at the lock position. And for the Melbourne Storm, Nick Meaney at fullback with Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates on the wings with Remus Smith and young Tunua-Mapia. You got Cameron Munster at 5'8" and Jerome Hughes at halfback. Forwards consist of Nelson, Asafa Solomona, Harry Grant and Christian Walsh as the prop hooker prop. And Trent Lario and Elisa Katoa in the second row, with Josh King, former Newcastle boy, in as the lock. Each team actually has two former Knights players. You've got Jeriah Mamasia, who's currently the number 14 named for the Parramatta Eels, and you've also got Josh King, who is obviously the lock for the Melbourne Storm. Sup, Hill Fries? Glad you're here, man. Very excited to get into the start of the year. Just get it kicked off and started. Oh, there's bloody... Is there any word on when Turbo's available? Because I know is he still over in America, or is he like able to start the season, or is it not for like a couple of more years? If anyone does so, please just let me know. Just an exciting time to say the least. It's league. It's all coming back. All coming back to me. I mean, this whole year is going to be very exciting with a whole lot of things. This is where the heart attacks begin. Yep, 100%. This is where your cardiovascular health takes an absolute toll. The NRL season. Or it's all the time if you're a gambling addict. Oh yeah, that's right. They've now got these things because after every gambling ad, it has to have a thing saying it's like, oh, you win some, you lose more. Like they have to saying you will lose money for any gambling ad now. So at least you're starting to see it now. Here's back first round. Yep. Bosky, nice to see you, man. So. Is this just going to become the hub of Parramatta supporters? We do have people that think that Melbourne are going to win, but I think I've seen one proper Storm fan pop up here at the moment. So currently now with 9 votes in for the poll, we currently have 78% going in favour of the Parramatta Eels now. So I think it's about 7-2, maybe? I believe that's what it is. I think it's 7-2. But yeah, so still got 23 minutes. I wish I actually had like a proper hype up video that I made, like along the lines in terms of parody of like the proper Fox League one. Which in fairness, now that I say that now, it's like I have something lined up. Or do I? No, I'm just joking, I don't. You think I actually be competent? What are you, get the fuck out of here. So, okay, so this is my fantasy team. I'm really trying to stretch this out for Tom, but this is my it's my fantasy team. Obviously, my captains and vice captain thing is going to be fairly subjective on who I pick, but if I'm probably still going to pick Munster as captain. Obviously, we've got a couple of, I think it's about 10 minutes before the first lockout, so where I can't make any more transfers. But yeah, so this is the team. I had to with Luke Garner, I had to swap out who I originally had was Beau Fermor, obviously because of his ACL injury, but I should have had a link. I should have like okay, I do have a fantasy league. I'm just gonna find the code. I'm gonna pin it in the chat. For any people like at last minute wanting to join. So let me just do that quickly. I might just put the link up anyways. As I've got about 10 minutes till the lockout. Actually surprised at how many people have actually joined my fantasy this year. We had about 40, it's like just under 50 joined last year. And now we haven't even started yet. I think we're at 80, so it's very cool to see it has increased. We've got 20 minutes till the lockout. So let me just go to leagues. I feel like if some of you are in here, might be in my league already. 85, bloody hell. Invites. I'll just copy a link, and the link will just send you to immediately join. Okay, sweet. Let me just comment this. Join my fantasy league or else. There we go. It's a nice little sentiment statement with a thinly veiled threat, how all good messages should be. Just realised I'm being blocked by a fist. I keep forgetting that's put at the bottom corner of things, but there we go. Message has been pinned. So if you want to actually join my fantasy, there it is. Now they're starting to focus on the Parramatta teams. We've got now 19 minutes away. We're getting there, but there we go. That is my fantasy league. So if you want to join, if you still haven't, get that in there. We're at 85 people, so I think a lot of people actually did very well. I think the bloke who won got the top of the scores last year was I think genuinely had about, what was it? It was like top 30 in the whole fantasy. It was nuts. Yeah, just a quick question. For people who are here, there is a fan currently going on throughout this whole time. Just gonna have it like up here. Okay, I'm just gonna tilt it a little bit so it's in my direction. Is the mic picking it up? Do you hear is it noticeable? I'm just trying to test this before we actually get into the stream or anything. Maybe if it's a little bit lower, then it might get picked up. Maybe the only thing it's going to pick up maybe is the rattle, but in fairness, this mic is fairly directional. So it doesn't even really sound that bad. Actually, whilst I'm here, I might actually set up the poll for the night's Warriors game whilst I'm here. I'll just do that. I'll just do it after the stream ends. I can't be bothered. We're 18 minutes till the start of the season, guys. Get hyped. Get up out your seat. We're almost there. We're almost there for the start of the league season. This is losing my mind. Genuinely trying to think about what to do to fill in time. Okay, here's a thing we could ask for people. Who do we think's getting the Dally M? There we go. I think that's a good question there. Might even add it as an actual question for the... I don't even know if it's even going to pop up. It's just going to make the chat all conjoined. But there we go. Put in the comments, who do you think will be the Dally M winner for 2023? I think we already had one this year. I saw NRL Fanatic put up a thing saying he thinks that the what's his name, Latrell Mitchell is going to get it this year. So interested to see what you guys think. Why is Asava Solomona Emily number 1 in Sydney's West? What did he do? What did he actually do? I'm actually quite confused as to why they put that up. But yeah, we're still pretty much getting closer to there. We're almost there. In fairness, though, it does feel a little bit odd that the beginning of March is the start of the NRL season. Obviously, it would start in the middle of March, pretty much around the same time or like a week after the AFL starts. But obviously, with now the 17th team, they've got to bring in 2 more rounds. which I feel like kind of was the plan anyway, so they can actually have some form of a leg up over the AFL, so they start like 2 weeks before. Because the amount of pseudo-politics that goes into Australian sports is ridiculous, and sporting codes. It's just nuts. So yeah, going through the just going through my schedule once again. I should actually have a slide thing that shows what games I'm doing, but I'm going to be doing, in terms of the NRL, we're doing doubleheader on Friday tomorrow. Obviously, being the New Zealand Warriors against because I own them, the Newcastle Knights, and the Penrith Panthers taking on the Brisbane Bulldogs. I haven't been doing this long enough. It's not like I've been watching rugby league all my life. The Brisbane Broncos. In fairness, both teams didn't make the finals last year, but neither did the Knights, so I can't really complain or make fun of. But basically, then we go on to Saturday, which the only game I'm doing on Saturday is the 3 p.m. game, which is, of course, the Manly Seagulls up against the Canterbury Bulldogs. And we finish up with the doubleheader on Sunday being the, you can't say Redcliffe, Dolphins up against the Sydney Roosters, and, of course, finishing it off with the first time meeting since the greatest game last year, the West Tigers up against the Gold Coast Titans. Genuinely can't wait for that match and see if it potentially doesn't cause me to have a psychotic break like it did last year. In fairness, it did provide what I think is probably the greatest moment of my whole time on YouTube, me literally losing, like, not even like hyperbole, but genuinely losing my mind watching that game. So okay, now we're up to 10 votes now. Thank you all very much for voting. How NG saying up the we're basically the base of Parramatta supporters. Currently 8-2 in favour of Parramatta in the poll. And that's how I currently will see it at the moment, because I have money on the game, to say the very least. But okay, whilst you're all here, as we're counting down the start of the NRL season, I can't do that. I can't be exciting. But who do we all think is going to get the Dally M for this year? Put them in the comments. It's hard to tell. I mean, in fairness, me trying to judge who's going to get the Dally M is ridiculous, because I don't really pay that much attention to how it all works and all that. I just know, oh, this guy got it. But I did see NRL Fanatic did put up Latrell Mitchell. Do we all think Latrell's going to be the player to do it? Does Nico Hines go on the double? Could it be a new recruit, someone who's gone over? Do we think, I don't know, Cleary will get it? I mean, it's kind of hard to tell in all fairness, but 13 minutes. It says kickoff's next, which I highly doubt, because we're still like 13 or so minutes away from kickoff. Architects. Mitchell Moses. Oh, yeah, I think Moses definitely can have a shout. Don't think really anyone from the Knights can probably get it. I think maybe maybe it's Jackson Hastings, but that would require him to have an absolute, like, God mode season. Maybe Brandon Smith, but then again, there are still a lot of question marks going around with the Roosters at the moment. I'm actually kind of glad they're actually... Architects, it's a good song, from what I can barely hear of it at 30%, but it seems good. It does seem like it would get your veins going, gets the your cardiovascular system at work. You know, to say the very least, but okay, we're almost there. I was going to do some Peter Drury type bullshit in terms of like commentary. It's like, oh, counting down to the start of the season, but even I don't even know. It would have been like 13 weeks, 100-something days, like something like that, you know. Actually be like proper poetic about it. What are they doing out there? That's a big car right there. We're almost there. I've said we're almost there so many times. So, quick final run through. We'll go through the full lineups. We only have the 13 printed out on here, but we will go through the interchange. So, starting off with the Parramatta Eels, you got Clinton Gutherson at fullback with Mike Acevo and Isaac Lumi on the wings with Waka Blake and Will Penasini in the centres. You got Dylan Brown at 5'8" and Mitchell Moses at halfback. Regan Campbell-Gillard, Josh Hodgson and Junior Paulo as the prop hooker prop. Bryce Cartwright, Matt Dorey will be in the second row. Jermaine Hopgood will be at lock. And you've got Jariah Mamasia, Jack Murchie, Willem Grieg, and Makahesi Makatoa as the interchange for the Eels, with Jake Arthur as the number 18 of the injury replacement. And for the Melbourne Storm, you've got Nick Meaney at fullback with Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates on the wings with Remus Smith and young Tanua Mapia. I probably butchered that for the him. In the centres, you've got Cameron Munster at 5'8" and Jerome Hughes at halfback. Nelson Asofa Solomona, Harry Grant and Christian Walsh as the prop hooker prop. Trent Lorio and Elisa Katoa in the second row, and Josh King as lock. And for the Melbourne Storm interchange, I've actually scrolled down because I actually haven't got the full names written down. Tyron Wishart, Alec McDonald, Jordan Grant and Bronson Garlick, with Chris Lewis named as the number 18 injury replacement. It's happening! The season's about to start! It's actually nuts that we're finally back in the saddle. Trotting, if we will, but I'm too old to be saying stuff like saying words like "let's trot." I'm also not even from Western Sydney, so it wouldn't even make a lick of sense. Just waiting now as we're coming into now the final 10 minutes of there being no rugby league in Australia to turning of a page to becoming there being professional rugby league in Australia. So get into the poll once you can if you haven't voted. We're still at 10 votes with 80% in favour of the Parramatta Eels, being 8-2 in terms of voting breakdown. So just basically just waiting for it all now to begin, to kick off the start of the 2023 NRL season. And just hopefully have a good time, because I'm planning on hopefully to do more of this, pulling my finger and actually doing decent content, which would be nice. And if anyone hasn't seen of what I think might happen, this is Sumani. So saying the game starts at 7:50, but other places are saying it 8, but there we go. This is the tip. You've got the Parramatta Eels to win, Mike Acevo and Clint Gutherson to score at any time for the Eels. You've got Remus Smith to score for the Melbourne Storm. And I'll put $2 on it, so if I win, I can get $43 dues. Oh shit, they're playing the actual Fox League hype up. In fairness, I think it's 4 minutes, the actual hype up video, so that's probably going to take a bit. Just had another vote come in. Let's just see which way it's gone. I believe it's gone to the Storm, so it's 73% to 27. So that would be, if I had to make a judgment, it was 8-2, so it'd be 8-3. Quick, a +1 addition. Not very hard to do. Here we go, Matt Nable, basically obviously Fox's version of Phil Gould, laying down the law about what has happened in the last year and what might happen differently for this year. Basically saying Penrith 1-2 title could become 3. With Jack Gibson and Dolphin. We can't tell you where they're from because Redcliffe's a naughty word in rugby league for some reason. At least they're playing a hyper package that's relevant, because I do remember when they would do double headers, they played before the first game a hyper package for the second. So say they play a hype-up package for Penrith versus Brisbane, but it's right before the Knights and Warriors. But I do think there'll be some form of a hype-up package for the Warriors on, because it's like their first full season that they're going to be at home. But here we go. Getting close to it now. 5 minutes left. Get up off your seats. Get hyped. Get hyped. Just bang your desk. Just bang something. Just get hyped. So currently at 12 votes now. Another Storm voter has come in, so it's now 8 votes to 4 in favour of Parramatta. So we're starting to see a little bit of a late resurge of Melbourne Storm people who just think the Melbourne Storm are actually going to win this game. But yeah, going to be interesting to see how the Saturday games do go. I mean, you got Sharks and South Sydney, which obviously first time they're playing since the semi-final of last year, but doesn't matter. We're focusing on tonight. Does anyone actually think we have that the Dolphins have even a slim chance of beating the Roosters? I mean, if they do, that'd be pretty funny. Obviously, you have the Arthur Beetson Cup. Obviously, legend of both clubs. Okay, here we go. 4 minutes away now. The hyper package is almost over. And we are almost ready to start the season with a fairly decent game, to say the very least, being the Parramatta Eels and the Melbourne Storm. So here we go. The team that finished, I believe... The team that came 4th versus the team that came 5th, I believe. Yeah. Or 6th, one of the two. Anyway, still relatively close, finishing from last season. The Pyro's over. Both teams are now shaking hands. We are now... I see the voice now, because you got to hype up the crowd now. So, we are almost ready for the start of the season. Both teams now shaking hands with each other, hoping for a good start to their campaigns. We'll just quickly go through now for one last time the starting lineup for both teams. It's not sold out. The crowd's actually kind of piss poor, actually. But anyways, starting up loud with the Parramatta Eels, Clinton Gutherson at fullback, Mike Acevo and Isaac Lumi on the wings, with Will Penasini and Waka Blake in the centres. Regan Campbell-Gillard, Josh Hodgson and Junior Paulo as the prop hooker props. Thanks to Dylan Brown at 5'8", Mitchell Moses as a halfback. I probably missed that. Bryce Cartwright and Matt Dury in the second row, with Jermaine Hopgood at lock. And the starting lineup of the Melbourne Storm, Nick Meaney at fullback, Will Warbrick and Xavier Coates on the wings, with Remus Smith and John Tanua-Mapia. Of young Tanua-Mapia, sorry. Cameron Munster at 5'8", and Jerome Hughes at halfback. Nelson Asova Solomona, Harry Grant and Christian Walsh as the prop hooker prop, with Trent Lorio and Elisa Katoa in the second row, with Josh King as lock. It's about to start. We're literally like we're there. The last couple of minutes are now climbing down. I'm going to end the poll very soon, so if you want your piece spoken, you gotta get in quick. Well, no, I'm just ending it now. I'll just ruin it. I'll just end it now. So there we go. The poll is ended. I might as well unpin the post. So there we go. Final poll results, 8-4 in favour of the Parramatta Eels, taking the opening win of the season for either club. It's just going to be, it's great. Welcome. Just welcome to 2023, everyone. This is when it probably starts. Here we go. The Melbourne Storm now coming out onto a very... I try to say packed CommBank Stadium, but I'll be lying. But very deep. They're out on the CommBank Stadium. Obviously, both teams have gone to wars against each other over the last couple of matches. Parramatta, I believe, has won their 4 last competition games. But obviously, the thing in Melbourne's favour, not Cameron Smith, Craig Bellamy, the coach of the Melbourne Storm, has never lost a round one game. And Parramatta, obviously, wanting to throw the gauntlet down, could end this streak for whatever his name is for Craig Bellamy tonight. As Parramatta now come out to their paradise. You see the play words, but it is obviously CommBank Stadium. A fine stadium, I might add you. So here we go. So Parramatta look like they're going to be kicking off first. They're going to be running screen right, and the Melbourne Storm will be picking up the first carry of the 2023 NRL season. Lads, it's about to start. Here we go. I just had to skip a little bit forward, but here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, a cheers to the camera and to the gods and to the fallen giants. The NRL season has officially begun. The kick goes out to the far right-hand side from Parramatta's kicking, and it's right to the 15 for the first tackle for the Melbourne Storm. Actually, sorry, I just need to remember there's another team. Completely got that wrong. There's a charge there. It's number 11. It's Lorio, who still getting held up at the 15 for the second tackle. So currently at the moment now, Sofa Solomona going to be a main factor for the Storm if they do end up winning this game. The KO stream is paused. Okay, we just have to reload the stream. It'll probably be around the fourth tackle at this point, but it's gone a bit back. We're just going to reload the stream here quickly. Just apologies. I feel like the Storm would have probably just kicked for their last tackle. I'm just guessing at this point, but we're just trying to reload the stream whilst we're going at the moment. Probably Parramatta now with their first tackle for the first carry. Yep. Oh, the second, actually. I was very close. They're on the 30, and now there's going to be a charge for the 40, and it's Lumi getting his first carry, I assume. Hi there. Nice work, great comedy. Thanks, Alana. And hello, Kobe and Leo. Welcome to the start of the season. Now, last tackle here. No, it's still fourth tackle now for the Parramatta Eels. A little bit of play now as they try to shift it to the left, but it's a flat ball out to the number 11 of Bryce Cartwright. So here we go. Last tackle as they did enter the Storm's half. It's kicked centrally. Be taken by Meaney on the 10, and he will run straight into Will Penasini and Waka Blake. And it's a bit of a rugby hold at the moment. It's going to be put up onto the 15. Waka Blake needs to get off that. Don't want to give away a set restart this early into the game. So second tackle now is yeah, this chat thing, yeah, this isn't really working at the moment. It's not really keeping up with this timeline. Currently 2 minutes 20 gone, so I just probably have to update that. Storm now going the short side. It's a dummy half. It's a strip. It's a one-on-one strip. And Josh Hodgson has gotten the ball off the opposite number 9 of Harry Grant. So great bit of play there. I think the offload there from the Storm should have been done. But yep, Hodgson realising he's in a one-on-one just gains possession of the ball just like that. So Parramatta now on their second tackle right on halfway. So a chance here potentially for Parramatta to get the first points of the season. So now it's number 12 of Dory who will get to the 45, held up onto the far right-hand side. Shifts it now to Campbell Gillard and instantly gets meet up by the opposite number 8 of Sofa Solomona. Fourth tackle now, 35 out for the Eels. They'll go to the left-hand side. They're feeding it out. Oh, it's going to be a knock on there. Well, it's going to be a change over, but it's a penalty in favour of Parramatta here. So there we go. There must have been an advantage somewhere in the play, but there we go. Penalty to Parramatta. Full set of 6, about 30 metres out. Great chance here to get the first points on the board. Oh yeah, but it was a late hit by a Storm player. Very interesting to say the very least. It was a very very late hit, and it was good that it hit happened, because for Parramatta's sake there would have just been a knock on there by Dylan Brown. But here we go, as we're now 4 minutes gone. And Alicia Katoa now on report for the Storm. So just saying now, is they're just showing camera angles of like how the crowd is looking. It looks alright, but it's just the top ends are like the top of the second tiers on both sides just look empty. It's a are they going for the kick here? Okay, interesting decision here. Mitchell Moses has decided he is going to take the 2. Very interesting to say the least there, but here we go. The stream just repeats itself there. So here we go. This is from the kick from the camera from behind. And it goes through. I don't like that camera angle, but there we go. The Parramatta Eels have gotten the first points of the season, and it is from a penalty kick. In complete fairness, I am a little bit confused as to why... I'm just a little bit confused as to why, at this point, very early on in the season, I'm just going for the 2 rather than just going for a try. But there we go. I'm just readjusting because I know these scoreboards can get stretched out a little bit when it comes to the actual when it gets like double digits, it does stretch out a little bit. So now again, the stream's stopping working, but yeah, it's a little bit weird at the moment. But there we go, 2-0 to the Parramatta Eels. Just waiting now for the kickoff to restart the game, as we're now 5 minutes 10 gone. As KO just keeps pausing for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with KO. It's just, it keeps pausing. And it's not like it's like, oh, like, it shouldn't be like internet or anything, but it's just a bit odd at the moment. I believe now the Parramatta would have received the ball from a kickoff, so we'll just get quickly into that. Yeah, Parramatta on their last tackle, but it just kept stopping and going. But anyways, last tackle from halfway from the Eels. Moses with the kick. It's going to be taken on the 10 by, I believe it is Xavier Coates, or it might be Warbrick, or it could just be, oh, it's actually, yeah, it is Xavier Coates who gets the ball. So the Storm haven't actually entered the Eels half yet. I mean, it has been 6.5 minutes, but still. In terms of positioning now, Parramatta somewhat have the upper edge. I feel like probably just, okay, we're ahead, so we can probably just keep going with it. There's Cameron Munster now with a tackle, and he'll get brought down on the 35, still inside of his own half. And it's an early kick for a 40-20, but it's not going to have much distance in going to the actual sideline. So we'll be picked up by Clinton Gutherson, and he'll be brought down on the 15 for the first tackle. Just going to turn this air off because I feel like it's probably getting somewhat ridiculous. But so Parramatta now trying to get out to the right-hand side. Lumi's broken a tackle here, and he'll get to the 35 for the third tackle. Decent line break there, and it's going to be a penalty by Parramatta. That was great drawing of the penalty there, to say the very least. But there's a deep kick. That's probably like a 40-meter kick there, going into touch there. So it's going to be around the 30. So full set of 6, 30 meters out. Definite chance here for Parramatta to get the first try to extend their lead. So Paulo on the 25. They're going to give it out to the right-hand side. It's going to be run up straight through the guts by Regan Campbell-Gillard. And the stream repeats it again because for some reason KO is just starting to act up. And they're getting it off to the right-hand side now. Flat ball through to the number 12 of Dory, and he's now about 8 meters away from the try line now. He's actually dragged back to the 10 by Munster. So third tackle on the right-hand side. Cutting it out now into the middle. Paulo flicks past that. Oh, it's a good bit of play here. 2-1, Sevo. It's a 6 again. It's flicked back out. And it's going to be, I believe, the second tackle now, because it was a set restart called, and no, it's actually going to be the first. So whole set now coming up again for Parramatta, now on Melbourne's line. Paulo gets an offload off to Moses. And the stream decides to repeat it again because it was that good. They've got numbers out if they can. Trying to give it out to the player. Oh, brilliant stopping there. Lumi diving over and gets instantly blocked by Xavier Coates. Not giving him any bit of grass to try to put the ball onto. So it's going to be, I believe, a 20-minute restart and a 7-tackle set now coming for the Storm. That's brilliant defence there for Xavier Coates. In fairness, I feel like you could have made a case that Will Penasini probably could have just scored it himself. Be nice if the stream would stop pausing. Go Coates, yeah, Mitchell Maker's really good block there. Second tackle now for the Storm, just shy of the 40. Remus Smith now brought down just shy of halfway for the third tackle. Melbourne now has crossed over Parramatta's half for the first tackle. No, first tackle inside of Paris half from PNG. Hell yeah, mate. Go now to the left-hand side now. The Storm now going through. Coates is now running down the side. Goes for a crossfield kick. It might be too deep, and it will be. That was a end-to-end stuff there. You had a chance of Xavier Coates stopping a try in the corner on one end and almost setting up a try on the other side. But 7 tackles set from a 20-minute restart now for Parramatta. Has been very end-to-end as we are now 10.5 minutes gone in the opening match of the season. Gutherson now with the ball. Will get brought down just shy of halfway now for the second tackle for the Eels. As the stream again stops and just takes it. I actually don't know what the hell is going on with KO here. It's like it's just randomly pausing for no reason. And he's got, like, I think it's probably like third or fourth tackle here. For probably around the 40, I'd have to guess. Is now we try to reload KO again to actually get up to what the actual tackle is and see what actually is going on in the play. So just mind you here, for all that we know, they might have scored here, but now the Melbourne Storm have got the ball. First tackle on their 20. It'd just be nice if KO can sort their shit out and stop cutting it out and up. And we're going to have a penalty here for the Melbourne Storm. Just trying to think of what the penalty is for. Maybe around a little bit, like around the head, something like that. It was holding down, so I think it's about the second penalty that Parramatta have gotten. And now we got the Storm's first penalty. So kicking the touch will be placed around the 35 now for the Melbourne Storm. Now number 13 here now, Josh King takes the first hit up for Melbourne. We'll get up to around halfway for the first tackle. Asafa Solomona now just keeps on going now, 45 away from the try line for the second tackle. And hang on, there's a little bit of pushing and shoving. So quick play the ball, yep, and it's been a mistake by Asafa Solomona, so it's Parramatta's ball. Basically saying now the onus is on the attacker, so if they do go for the quick play the ball and they do bobble it, it is their fault. So Parramatta with a scrum feed just inside of their own half. Yep, he's lost that. It is basically a thing where they have tried to look into. So here we go. Scrum feed now for the Eels. They try to go out to the right hand side, and that is Hope Coates gets a try. I hope so too for him. As Storm Eels trying to get through halfway, and it's a 6 again now. Ruck infringement. So now just waiting to see what Parramatta can do as they break inside of the half now for the second tackle, just about 45 away from the try line. Shifts it off to the right hand side. There's only been 2 set restarts this whole game so far, about 13.5 gone, and it has been both sides, both of them have gone to Parramatta. Now off to the right, Dylan Brown. Many title contenders. Yeah, Very much so, Luke. I can agree with that. Fourth tackle, 20 metres out on the left-hand side here now, the Eels. They'll try to shift it into the middle. Paulo will try to go up the guts, but he's not going to go anywhere, especially when Osava Solomona's around. So 15 out, last tackle for the Eels. They'll go down the short left-hand side, go for a grubber kick in the corner, and it's going to get battered away by Nick Meaney after a very good chase by Waka Blake, so it's going to be a goal line dropout for the Storm. Yeah, I'm just going to say, the crowd, like, for opening game of the season for the NRL for Parramatta, bearing in mind, Parramatta just coming off, like genuinely 80 minutes away from a premiership. The crowd is piss poor. There's, like, no one on, like, the right-hand side end of the stadium. It's actually pretty bad. Don't know if something's happening, but in comes the short goal line drop kick, which has become a bit of a meta. And it's knocked on forward by Parramatta, and it's going to be Melbourne's ball. Just going to try to advance to see how far they've actually gotten. I just skip forward because it keeps pausing up. Now there's a knock on. Yep, knock on there by the Storm, so it must be the humid conditions really causing effectiveness to hold onto the ball, so it's going to be a scrum feed now for Parramatta. 15.5 gone. It's been really, really obviously a little bit of nerves maybe, just trying to not make fully mistakes, but yeah, but a lot of knock-ons have been happening. It was number 9, it was Harry Grant that made the first knock-on. I mean, that knock-on, sorry, there's been a few of them. But the scrum feed around the 40, actually the 30, sorry, so 30 metres out for the Eels. They're going to go down the right-hand side now. It's Dylan Brown. Shen fends off a tackle there, but he brought down on the 15 for the first tackle for the Eels. Eels now trying to just find a way to break through. And that is Matt Dory, as now we've lost sound. And now the stream has stopped once again because it's just... KO's actually been shit. I'm sorry, it's actually been really... It's like it would pause randomly for no reason. And bearing in mind, it's like, I'm not on the internet for this. I'm on my own data thing, so there really shouldn't be that much of a problem. But for some reason, there is. So for all we know, Parramatta might have scored. And they fucking have as well. It was a great try. It was Mike Asiva that scored it. Oh, it's been called a forward pass, so we didn't actually miss anything, but holy shit, KO needs to sort their shit out. There was Mike. So let's have a look here. They were right at the line. Passing just at the 10. Oh, yeah. That's several meters forward, but I feel there'd be a lot of Cowboys fans saying, it's like, oh, you call that one forward, but you don't call the one in the prelim forward. And that whole thing. So there we go, Mike Asiva. I've actually been a bit annoyed there because Mike Asiva was the player he's one of the 2 Eels players that I have to score. Could have had the first try of the year, but no. And there's a breakthrough run here now for the Storm. It was number 4 of Tanua Mapia getting to the 30. Right from the line, it's going to be a penalty now to the Storm. Good bit of running there from the young man. He gets a chance to put the kick inside of the Parramatta half and see if the Storm, because the Storm haven't really been that threatening in terms of the attack. They've only been inside the Eels half about twice, and it's nowhere near the 20. Short kick, they get to the 50. It's probably humid as all hell. I mean, currently at the moment it's 23 degrees where I'm from, and I'm nowhere near in Sydney, but so now shifting it up. Oh, almost a little bit of a bubble there by the Storm as they enter Parramatta's half for the second tackle. They're 45 away from the try line. The Storm are going to shift it now to the left-hand side. Going to keep it on going. Nick Meaney now with the ball. And now Tanua Mapia will get brought down on Parramatta's 30 for the third tackle. Storm now going into the middle. Trying to run it through the guts. Almost a breakthrough there, but they'll get to the 20 for the fourth. This is good movement here by the Storm. Now off to the right, Jerome Hughes tries to split the gap, and he'll just get brought down on the 10. Right in the centre of the field, last tackle for the Melbourne Storm. The go flat pass. And the number 10 of Christian Welsh is going to get held up. But there we go. Parramatta holding out there. I mean, it's very much the closest the Storm have gotten to scoring. It was the tackle of Regan Campbell-Gillard and Josh Hodgson who stopped that tackle from happening. So Parramatta now trying to break out of their 20 zone, because it has. Sorry, just stop there. Swallowed a bug now. Parramatta. Oh! Slamming, but it's not a lateral toss there by Jerome Hughes, so no penalty. But Parramatta being kept inside of their own half. Slipping action there. Fourth tackle. The Parramatta now on the 35. Shifting it out into the middle. It's a faint pass there from Cartwright, and there'll be last tackle here. Potential 40-20 chance if they go for it. Nope, he stepped over the line, Moses. Decently taken there by the Storm, right near the try line. So it's going to be a charge from Nick Meaney, and he'll be brought down just past the 20 for the first tackle. You're seeing the exhaust here. A lot of the Storm players not really tracking back to their line. Now the second tackle now for the 35. Now Hughes giving the ball off, but still at the 35 now for the third tackle for the Storm. Now Remus Smith going through the charges, pretty much saying of how tired the forwards are. If all of the backs are making the run up the guts. Oh, that could have looked very dangerous there, but luckily it wasn't a high shot. Last tackle 45 metres out now for the Storm. It's a tackle kick that's pressuring Lumi, and he'll take it on the 5. And it'll get brought down on the 5 by, I believe it's the number 11 of Laurier. As we've now gone past the first 20 minutes, we're in the 21st minute actually, of the first game of the season, and it's 2-0. Fairly decent football score, not a great league score. Just makes you think if Parramatta, I mean, in fairness, it probably could have been very likely being Parramatta 6 or 8-0 if Sivo's pass wasn't forward. Or the pass to Sivo that led to the try. Is Parramatta now on the 30 for the third tackle. It's going to be the run there by the number 11 of Cartwright. He's getting a lot of carries so far this half. And Moses now going for a 40-20 attempt, but he's kicked it too laterally. Oh, it was the last tackle anyway, so he had to kick it. And now they're repeating it again. Yeah, that's true, yeah, 2040s are a thing. Parramatta actually did hit one during the trials against the Knights. Now the Storm just trying to get to halfway here is Munster. And it's a set restart now for the Storm for a ruck infringement. And this will be the first tackle for the Storm on the Parramatta's 40. I'm basically going in between of having the fan on and off because it's just, for some reason, too darn hot. Now Melbourne gets an offload off, still going down to, trying to go up the middle. I believe it's a Service Solomona now, 25 out for the second tackle. Oh, he's grabbed his eye. Is he trying to say it was an eye poke? Interesting there. The Storm now going to the left-hand side. They've got numbers if they keep going. And they repeat it again because for some reason KO really like repeating it. Storm still having it. Still the third tackle. They keep on offloading it. They're right on the 10-metre line. They go for the grubber kick to the corner. Sivo's got to have to deal with it. And he bats it out of the way. So for a goal line dropout now for the Parramatta Eels. There has been a goal line dropout earlier on in the game, which was taken short. Parramatta, it was by the Storm. Parramatta did end up grabbing it, but they ended up knocking it on forward. So it'll be interesting to see how the Parramatta Eels will go with their goal line dropout. I don't understand why KO is actually being like this. Like, it's actually been ridiculous how much it's just randomly just stopped or just like repeating itself. So we're just trying to see if the goal line dropout has been taken and whether or not it was short or not, because it's probably going to be short. It was taken short and Parramatta have gotten the ball. But obviously we didn't see it. So third tackle now for the Eels. Eels trying to get a set restart or a penalty potentially. But they're going to be held up. Fourth tackle, they're at the 30. So currently the Storm have kind of got the momentum at the moment. Now Junior Paulo now. Just gets brought down. The Parramatta behind their 40 for the last tackle. So really good defensive set here by the Melbourne Storm. High kick for the last tackle. It's going to be taken on the 20 by Nick Meaney. Meaney will get to the 35 for the first tackle for Melbourne as we've got 15.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Second tackle now for the Storm as we try to appeals for a forward pass. Welch now brought down right on halfway for the third tackle. Now 35 out. Now the Storm are going really well at the moment. They're just keeping on adding meters to their drives. They go for a kick over the top. There's a lot of chases at the moment. But the kick is just too heavy. But I mean, I wouldn't be like going worried for Parramatta because they've been on the pump at the moment for the last couple of minutes. It was a good kick, but just weighed it too heavily and the bounce not going in the favour. And now they're repeating it again. I actually don't understand what the fuck's going on with KO at the moment. Just trying to think, does Channel 9 have the Thursday games? But anyways, right on the 10, it'll be Parramatta's ball. So full set of 6 now coming up for the Eels. As that's the number 15, it is Jack Murchie on the field. Getting his first carries. We're starting to get the first couple of interchanges. So Parramatta now again, they're just not getting as many meters as the Storm have been in the last couple of minutes. Could be a chance to break it. Here's Parramatta trying to get over the half. As they're now at the 40 now with Paulo for the third tackle as they want to show me Paulo getting up from the tackle for the second time. So Parramatta now just shy of halfway now for the fourth tackle on the right-hand side. And Gutherson gets instantly met. I believe that's Munster that just brings him in. Yep, keeping him inside of their own half. So there we go. Parramatta, last tackle, still didn't enter the half. And it's going to be a penalty to Parramatta for a late tackle on the kicker. So what does that happen there? Is it the penalty of when the tackle happened or where the kick went? Okay, so Moses was already up in the air, and Alec McDonald's come into the running thing. But the amount of times that has happened in the season, how was that attacking the kicker? I'm a bit confused from that because it's like, so does that mean any kicker that gets touched after the ball, it's a penalty? Because that was, I think that was very weak. But the way it's looking, the penalty's where the kick's taken. And yep, 20 metres out. So a chance here for Parramatta against the run of play, you can say, and the momentum. A chance for them to go and increase their lead. They're going to tap and they're going to run for it. So the first tackle is 5 metres out now to Eels. Trying to go. They go to the left and go to the right. Oh, crunching tackle on Gutherson there. I'm trying to figure out who it is. It might have been Munster, but I don't think it is. Now it's a number... Murchie. No, it's not. It's Dory, sorry. And now the stream is paused, but the audio keeps going on. Like, seriously, what the fuck is KO's problem? It's a set restart, I believe. No, it's not. This has actually been ridiculous from KO. Like, it's actually... It just doesn't allow to just keep the stream going. It's like, I've never had this problem. Ever. Apparently he's saying Munster might have hurt his arm. And the Storm are out on the 40 for the third tackle. But of course we didn't see anything. But as far as we know, apparently Munster may have hurt his hand. But last tackle here for the Storm right on halfway. There's Jerome Hughes. And they repeat it like what... Alec McDonald versus Nathan Cleary in the chin-off competition. Definitely. at the moment. So Lumi now gets brought down to 25 for the first tackle. It's actually Sevo, actually. Thought there was 2 twos, but there wasn't. It was just one. And they're going to repeat the... This is actually getting beyond a joke at this point. They just keep repeat. I think KO just needs... Whoever's running it needs a bullet in their head. Fourth tackle now for the Eels. Just at the 40 now. They're going to go to the right-hand side. They've got numbers if they can. Waka Blake. That's Penasini. And he'll get brought down. Now, this will be the fourth tackle now. Outside the 40. 40 metres away from the try line now. Fourth tackle for the Eels. Now Gutherson will get brought down. He gets an offload off. Very, very late. Murchie gets the ball. He'll be brought down 30 metres away from the try line now for the last tackle. High kick by Moses. Bit of pressure from Chasers. And there we go. There's the run from Meany who gets it. And we got to see the fucking... Is someone just like got like a repeat button? It's like they're clipping it and then just repeating it. But set restart anyways now for the Storm. And now Parramatta's got the ball. 15 out. 0 tackle. It must have been a knock on. So Parramatta now, huge chance to finally get the first try of the match in the season. It's Murchie now, 15 out right in front of the posts. On the first. And it's paused. Bailey Hodgson thinks his decision. He's still thinking. And now I've got to reload the stream again. This is mate, if I had to do a shot for each time I've had to reload the stream, I'd have probably liver cirrhosis at this point. And out to the right hand side, and that's going to be Will Penasini who scores. We actually see it actually go over. No help with fucking KO, but there we go. Parramatta finally have gone over, so we do have the first try of the season. 30 minutes in, and it's the number 3 of Will Penasini for the Parramatta Eels. And now they've got to repeat that high five because it was such a good high five. And now this is 5 minutes behind, so we've got to make it now. It's 8-0 to it's 6-0 to Parramatta with a kick to come. But holy shit, this has just been horrible stream from KO. It's like dragging glass across my feet is how this stream has been. Gutherson with the pass just opens it up to Penasini. There you go. What am I watching it on? I'm watching it on KO, but at the moment it's just... It would just have like some moments, it would just pause randomly and then, or it would just repeat something and not allow you to drag to like properly live. It's just been ridiculous of how this has gone so far. Oh, that's what it is. It wasn't even connected. Hang on. Well, everything's falling apart. There we go. Will Penasini, 8.5 to go. A chance for Parramatta to kick a conversion. There we are. So phone will charge now. Sorry for that noise, but my phone's now charging. This for Mitchell Moses to make it 8-0 to the Parramatta Eels. 8.5 to go. Be nice if it stopped fucking bocketing and streaming and stopping Andrew Voss, but here we go. In comes the kick and he shanked it as the sound's gone off and now it's paused again. But anyways, it's still 6-0 to the Parramatta Eels. I feel like some bloke and the mic's now... No, it wasn't the mic, it was the light that turns, but it's just... It's been nuts. It's been ridiculous.
Yeah, the news doesn't get much better for the Melbourne Storm. Early prognosis is that it's a compound fracture for Cameron Munster.
Okay, there we go. That is a big news there for the Storm. Apparently, they said that Munster was hurting in his hand. It turns out it could be a compound fracture. So that could see Munster out for a little bit, and that doesn't really help Melbourne's case at all at the moment. Junior Paula now will get to the 30 for the third tackle. They're going to drag it back. Now it's running through the guts there. I believe that is Murchie now. Onto the 40 as they pause it again. Can you stream the game for use to watch, please? I can't. Even though the stream is the actual stream watching is bockety as shit, the NRL would just come in and just cut it out anyways. Unfortunately, I think Hectic Fred might be doing it on Twitch. I think the rules are a bit more relaxed on Twitch there, so probably go there. I think it's probably the better option. 7.5 left in the game. Oh, almost a knock on there by the Storm, but they hold on to it. The second tackle now onto the 20. I don't know what the hell I want to do. Onto the 25 now for the third tackle for the Storm. As apparently, for some reason, according to some Parramatta fans in the stadium, apparently a flat pass is forward. Potential try to go for a 40-20 there. Hectic Fred is the name. Can you put me on live game? I can't put the game on stream, guys. Like the NRL would just come in and just take it down. The stream down, unfortunately. And now they're repeating the stream again. It's genuinely just been ridiculous how the stream goes. Parramatta versus Storm tonight. Yeah. Yeah, it's on right now. Fourth tackle now, 6 minutes gone. Last tackle back behind the 40, maybe trying to go for a 40-20, but the bounces isn't going to work. It's going to be picked up on the 10. Just under 6 now remaining in this first half. Still 6-0 as we've got to repeat the fucking tackle again because for some reason stream just has to see it. Melbourne now trying to break over the line. They'll get to just shy of halfway for the second, so still some chances at the moment for the Storm. Hey, let me just mute desktop audio, sorry. They're Storm trying to go to the left-hand side here. They've got numbers if they can try to spread it out, but they decide not to. Fourth tackle now for the Storm, as that is Chanel Mapia, 25 out. Now Josh King with the ball. Tries to break through the line there. 5 metres out. Last tackle for Melbourne. The feint going to the right to grub a kick. Was it played up? Well, that's going to be surely a jockeying penalty. Knock on Melbourne. Okay. And it's going to be a challenge here by the Storm. Saying if there was a knock on, but I think if anything, even if there isn't a knock on, there might be a penalty to Parramatta because of a jockeying by Josh King. So the kick chase from Melbourne on the right is onside. The ball is then played out by Jack Murchie. Yeah. So it is played by Murchie. So does Josh King knock it on? Yeah, but there is a hand one-on-one by Parramatta. I think it should just be a challenge unsuccessful there. No, that's touched the Parramatta player. So it could be a double knock on and Storm ball. Oh, it's hard to tell. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, the decision makes sense, yep. So Hopgood does get a touch to it, but Joe Hughes held on to it, then loses the ball. So it's going to be a changeover, well, knock on by Melbourne. So Parramatta will get the ball 4 minutes 48 remaining in the half for a scrum feed. So scrum feed now on the 10 now for the Eels after that challenge. So the Storm no longer have a challenge. And they're going to... Parramatta now on the 20 from the second as they give it off to Cartwright for the getting just shy of the 30 for the third tackle. And forward forward pass by Parramatta. Yeah, there we go there. So forward pass by Parramatta. No, we can't get it done, but sorry about all that confusion, but this game isn't that good yet. Oh well, it's the first game, I guess. That is true. Also, probably the weather's not that great, but and again, the stream keeps pausing and cutting backwards. Oh, charged down by Sevo. Almost gets on a breakthrough, and the ball's gone all the way back to like the 50. So it'll be first 0 tackle now for the Storm on the 30. Breakthrough run there from the Storm now. 20 out of it to number 15 to McDonald. Storm now the short hand side to ruck infringement. So very much a chance here for the Melbourne Storm to get even. Liero, again 5 metres short of the line now. Second tackle for the Storm. Short hand side to the left. Passing it out. Gets a pass out again, and that's a knock on by Josh Hodgson. So it's going to be another possession here for the Melbourne Storm. Oh my god, that Storm player down the wing, I think it was Coates tiptoeing over the line. Out to the right-hand side now, the Storm go from the scrum. Beats 2, beats 3, Jerome Hughes. A metre short of the line for the first tackles. We now got 2 minutes remaining in this half. Storm now just trying to find any way they can get over. This will probably be their last set they have. They'll go to left-hand side now. Flooding it up through the middle. Oh, it's a knock-on. Now Parramatta getting the ball, and so Parramatta will now have a full set of 6, and it probably will be the last full set we have this half. But man, this has been a very sloppy game to start the season. Hughes should have probably scored then. He beat about 4 players with steps and then almost about a metre short of the line. But yep, time's still running down, so pretty much Parramatta will have the ball for the last bit of the first half. So he's got a compound fracture on this ring finger. Thoughts on Josh Hodgson for Parra? I think he's had an alright game so far. I think talking about the whole thing, I don't really know, because I did see a thing about he's only played 1 game in like 550 days, so I don't really know the context behind what's happened, so I can't really comment on it, but I mean, he's done all right. To be fair, this game's just been very sloppy from all sides now. 4th tackle now for the Storm. Parramatta on their 40. As we've got 30 seconds remaining. Now, Gutherson now with the ball. Enters the Storm half. So, 45 out. Last tackle for the Eels with about 15 seconds remaining. Moses trying to go for a halfway field goal. Nowhere near. It's going to be a 20-metre tap, but probably going to be one tackle here for the Storm. So there'll be one tackle, basically, in this for 3 seconds. So Coates will take the hit up, and that will be the end of the first half. And it's 6-0 to Parramatta. Not really the highest scoring affair, but yeah. What's up, Statham? Good to see you, man. But yeah, this what can we say? It's just, you can really tell that this is the first game that they've played in months, to say the very least. So Munster has got a compound fracture to basically this finger on his left hand. So that could probably potentially be a little bit of problems maybe for next week for Melbourne. Who probably would have to check who the Storm play next week, just to see where Munster might not be playing at for next week. Just have a look. But at least we saw one try at least, which is nice. Storm next week, they have the Bulldogs in Melbourne. Yeah, that'll be a very interesting clash to say the least. Yeah, definitely long time no see. So anyways, what do we guys think about that first half? Woo! I mean, it's the first game of the season. It's hot, it's humid. It's not much is really going to be happening. But it's been sweaty, it's been hot. KO's been an absolute bitch of a streaming service at the moment. But let's do it's on, mate, as you hear the newly purchased dog go off. Let me just go to questions, and we can ask people thoughts of the first half. So start a Q&A. How many line breaks has there been so far in the game? I think it's been genuinely like maybe 3. And I think that might be putting it over the edge a little bit. Thoughts on first half. So it has a Q&A thing. I think you click the prompt and you type it in and it actually can reveal it at the top of the page. So there we go. Just what do you guys think of the first half? I think it was fairly wank. Can you put me on the live game, please? If you're asking me to show the game, Cedric, unfortunately I can't because the copyright in the NRL will bum me. But if you talk about like actually getting your name on the stream, technically that is maybe, I'm not too sure. But anyways, yeah, thoughts on the first half. It is good to see rugby league back, but just be nice if something exciting would happen, to say the very least. So I actually don't even know how this question thing works. Just bear in mind with me quickly. I'm just gonna look at my own stream to boost my views. We're just gonna check that. Just gonna go up here. So I search up my own name on YouTube like I do every other day. You might just hear a little bit of a reverb, maybe because of my voice being played over again. I'm just going to mute it. Yeah, it doesn't say how to do the poll about doing like the Q&A thing. Must be different. Probably because I'm the one who put it up, so I can't really have access to it. 4 line breaks. Okay, I was fairly close. I'm just trying to see if there's any comments. Oh, here we go. Mischief Makers. Okay, how do we reveal this? Select question. Oh, there we go. So Mischief Maker said that it's okay, but Storm could do better. I think in fairness, I think both teams could probably do a lot better. So there we go. So now we've there we go. We got some. There we go. We got a question up there. I think it pops up at like the top of the chat where like a pinned message would be. That's probably where it would go. So yeah, we're learning. Okay, we're learning. We're picking up what YouTube is putting down, to say the very least. Yeah, I mean, it's been all right. Let's have a look at how the bet is going. Well, currently at the moment, basically neither of them have hit because there's only been one try and was scored by Will Penasini, not Seetho or Gufferson. Well, we should actually look at my fantasy. That's probably what I should have done. Oh, where is it? I've closed it. I'm an idiot. I'm actually a dead set idiot. Thank God no porn popped up. I would just open up NRL Fantasy just and have a check of how it's... Oh, it wasn't even showing the screen anyway. Okay, good. I might have been a little bit. I do have a couple of players in my fantasy that are playing tonight. Munster being one of them. That's not great. Oh, shit. Oh, God, that's a little bit of a mistake there. Let me just fix this up quickly so I can actually show how fantasy is going. Oh, there we go. Transition. There we go. So currently at the moment, we'll just get rid of that. So currently with terms of points, we've got Munster, who I put as captain at 42 points, who's out for the rest of the game pretty much. Jermaine Hopgood with 47 points. That is pretty good. Alisi Katoa on 18 on the bench. Will Penasini currently on 30. So currently out of the four players, we've got 137 points. Currently overall ranked 6,348 out of 151,000. So you know what? That's not bad. That is not bad at all. And anybody who's been bagging my team out, what's your predictions from seeing the first half? I do feel, Cedric, the second half will be a lot better. And, I mean, by the way it's been looking, it's like Parramatta were like looking fairly dominant in like the first couple minutes, but then the Storm came back into it. So I think it's going to be relatively close again. Probably a bit more scoring, but I do still see Parramatta probably taking it out. Probably by like 18-12 is probably something I would probably put as a scoreline if I was to take a guess. Oh, here we go. Here's a here we got a question here from Nathan, who is a fellow Manchester United fan. It looked great, and what you think? Looks like a great game. It's been fairly defensively close. What do you think of Man United's game against West Ham? Bit shaky, obviously, with West Ham going 1-0 up, but it's good to see United could bounce back and do well. I think United's on very good form at the moment. It's very positive to see, obviously, coming off beating Barcelona in the Europa League playoffs and winning the Carabao Cup. I think we're very much going in the right direction. I mean, we've been going in the right direction for the last couple of months. It's just we're good. We're finally that we're finally making some ground. Winning our first trophy in 6 years. We're actually starting to see rewards from the process going through with Ten Hag at the helm. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Thoughts of the first half. It's probably my favourite one here. Will James. I just put it up here. Just straight to the point. Below top it just says good. I like your bluntness, Will. That I very much like it. It's straight to the point. Brilliant thoughts. I mean, I couldn't say it better myself. I'll just try to be nice if I could find it, because I know with like StreamYard you can like highlight a question that like pops up on screen, but this is probably like you got to pay attention to the chat. So I probably need to figure out a system where I can actually show it on screen. Oh, here we go. So some news here. Cameron Munster will return for the second half. Okay, so he does have a compound fracture in his finger, but he will be back for the second half. So that's some good news there for the Storm. So you'll probably play on, maybe. Might miss out next week against the Dogs. I don't really think so. Might just have to have a good, decent tape job or whatever. But yeah. Am I still mod? Yeah, yes, yes you are. You are still mod. Statham. It's you and Heel Fries are still the mods. Yeah, because I don't know if it's popped up, but on the screen, you still have the wrench. Oh, on the wrench on there. So yeah, you are still a mod, but I think we're all good. I think we're going all right. It's we're just chilling. We're vibing, in an essence of how the game has been going. Just hope for some more tries, you know. It'd be rather nice if we could actually start seeing a couple of tries, you know, go over, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, it's ridiculously warm. It's really warm at the moment. It's like really bad. Okay, so I'm just going to check also as well. So Parramatta playing next week. They play Cronulla. So Parramatta have another home game. And Parramatta's first away game will be... How long are Parramatta in Manly for? Hang on. Whoa. Wait. When do Parramatta leave Sydney? Oh my god, hang on. So Parramatta don't actually have a game outside of Sydney till round 8 when they play up at Darwin. That's kind of nuts. I've just saw that. Do you see the Eels winning? What do you think of Josh Hodgson so far? I think Josh Hodgson's done fairly well among the circumstances because, I mean, it's not really anyone's had a breakout performance so far this game. But I think Hodgson has done fairly well. I do see the Eels still winning this game. I just think... Just by the way things are going, it's like Parramatta have been more so on top, and I feel if they can get the first try in the second half, it will shape up a lot better in their favour. So yeah, good to see how the questions actually now work. It's like okay, now I understand how they all work and all that. Got 9 likes on the 9 likes. Thank you. I mean, just thank you everybody who is watching. It's been, and I'm just hoping for this year to be good somewhat, but that's gonna be taken out of context. But you know, just from like just all aspects, I think this community, the rugby league community, certainly is probably going to grow online, and it's especially after that whole the Sports Shed charity match that happened last week, which I went to, was very... It was just... The whole day was just really good. It just shows of how much, as content creators, especially in circling around rugby league, it's starting to grow, and it's like... And having, like, a proper impact. It's like... We're starting to see progress and growing, so... Very much so. Probably not the only one who is doing these guys, but do check out everyone else. There would be live streaming around, because I do have a few of them. Probably out tonight. I don't have proper names. I think BK would probably be one. I think Nick from Australia is also another one. I think Hold the Ball as well. So yeah, just check everybody out, and like for content creationists around rugby league this year. I think it's probably, even for me, is like to actually watch a lot of us, because I do watch like other people's content, but not as much as I probably should. But yeah. You have Eels winning the grand final against the Cowboys. I definitely can see the Cowboys having a good season as well, but then again, it's just going to be... It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with the question with the Cowboys. I think it's probably the same questions around like with the Sharks and all that. But anyways, now we're pretty much now ready. Basically, both teams set to come out now for the second half. Well, the Storm are now out. Now we're just waiting for Parramatta for the start of the second half. So what has happened is he has dislocated his finger, Cameron Munster. He has popped it back into socket and he's back on the field. As the stream now pauses because it's just been a running thing so far this stream. So I'll just end the quiz here. Just going through thoughts on Warriors versus the Storm. Probably be a little bit till they actually play, I think. Let me just have a check to see when the Storm play the Warriors. Kickoff's probably already happened, but okay. They don't play till round 8. It's too early to tell, especially with we don't even know how the Knights, because the Warriors haven't played yet this season, so now have to load back the stream again because it's definitely already kicked off. God, it's just. There we go. Second tackle for the Storm. We're now on the third tackle. So it's Eels, sorry. Everything's just falling apart. Fourth tackle for the Eels. But Eels now just trying to break into halfway. They'll get to the 45 for the last tackle. As Parramatta are running screen left. Can this light just... Everything's just falling apart. So there we go. Storm now with first possession of their first possession for the second half. So we'll just drag that. We'll probably have to refresh. But second tackle now for the Storm. They're just shy of their 30. Grand final could be Roosters against the Cowboys. True, but personally I'm just not really sold on the Roosters being like title contenders just yet. Fourth tackle now for the Storm, just shy of halfway. It's taken a while to get back up from the scrum. Hughes lays it off to the number 12 of Elisa Katoa, who's 45 away from the try line. It'll be the last tackle now for the Melbourne Storm with a high kick to put pressure on. I believe that's Lumi Lumi. And Lumi Lumi will get to the 15 for the first tackle for the Eels as we're now 2 minutes gone in this second half. And up there goes a penalty now for Parramatta. For an offside, and it's like, you got to think as well because I feel like out of the teams that have been a bit sloppy giving away penalties, it's been more so the Storm, which could be a factor in keeping on going. Grand final could be Roosters and Rabbitohs. That is also true. I mean, that's basically the NRL dream goal there. How do I think the Panthers will go with Apiso Coruscant and kick out? I think they should... I think they should still go okay. They'll be like... I don't think they'll win the minor premiership, but I still think they'll be top 4. Oh, lost ball by the Parramatta Eels, and it's another penalty. Is that a player in the bin? Did a Storm player just go to the bin? I swear I just saw a hand motion for the bin, but I don't think it's happened. But I believe it was... high tackle. It was number 11 of Lorio. I mean, yes, it's around the arms, but that's hard. I think that's a bit tough. But I think it was a bit soul. It was a bit of a sell there. Storm are sucking at they're sucking and giving away penalties. So I think United will win the Premier League with Ten Hag. Not this year, but I think definitely next year. We should be in for a shout. I think it's number 13, Jermaine Hopgood. 15 out from the line now for the second tackle. Going now to the middle. Dummy. Flick pass out to Hodgson. Gives it off to the left. And it's picked up by Dylan Brown. Third tackle on the far right hand side. 15 away. Moses gives it off to the number 16 of Grieg. Again, 15 out. Fourth tackle now for Parramatta. Gives it off to the right now. Moses. Feints giving the pass to Murchie. Where do I have Storm my loader? I have him, I think 8th, I think is where I have him. Moses now last tackle for the Eels. We're going to repeat it again because the stream is like that. It's getting a pass off to Gutherson. Gutherson with a grubber kick. There's a bunch of chases. That's brilliantly done. That's going to be a penalty for a high shot by the Storm. Dylan Brown was the player that committed the high shot. But there we go. This generally could be a game that's just decided by inches. It's a battle of attrition, this match. I have Storm 9th on my ladder. I was very tempted to put them there as well. It's weird, this Storm team. It's an alright team. It's just, I feel like there's a lot of teams that have just gotten a lot better. So currently in the penalty count, it's 5 penalties for Parramatta and 3 penalties to Melbourne. Second tackle now for the Storm on their own 40. And it's another penalty to the Storm. Parramatta need to be careful here. Quick successions of penalties that could lead to a potential sin bin, which could completely change the aspect of the game. Kick will go into touch by Jerome Hughes on the 35 for Parramatta in Parramatta's half. So a chance here for the Storm. I have them 9th too. It's a big commonplace at the moment. Storm here. The Storm, if they can get the first try of the half and have it 6-all, momentum could very much swing in their favour for them to take the win. Out to the right-hand side. Josh King now gets brought down on the 10-metre line. Hughes tries to go for a pass, but he feints it at the last second. Still held inside the 10 now for the 4th tackle for Melbourne. Flat ball out. It's a pass. It's through a gap. And that is Nick Meaney for the Melbourne Storm, who's gone over. And from all the pressure that's kind of been mounting over the last couple of minutes and the first half, the Melbourne Storm have gone over. And it's 6-4 right near the post. It'll be 6-all after 6.5 minutes. Beautiful flat ball. And then just the spin around pass to Nick Meaney, and gets the try there for the Melbourne Storm. Because Papenhuyzen might not even come back because he's lost his father. Is it father or... Yeah, that sucks. But anyways, there's the try there from Nick Meaney, getting the first try for the Storm. And now they're just continuing the repeating. I'm just worried if something like really big happens and I end up missing it out. So currently in terms of my fantasy team, the top player's currently been Jermaine Hopgood with 55 points. Which is actually fairly decent, to say the very least. He lost his speed. Oh, I thought, I don't know, fastest was an autocorrect for father. So here you go, Nick Meaney now to convert his own try. This to make it a 6-all with 7.5 gone in the second half. And there we go. It's gone straight over the posts. We are tied at 6-all. And we could potentially see the momentum now switch in favour of the Melbourne Storm. What did you think of him losing his speed? I mean, for a fullback, it's going to be pretty hard. I mean, it just really depends on like how he can become tactically. Because I mean, fullbacks don't really have to be fast. I mean, it does help, but I mean, could beef himself up in terms of someone like Latrell. I mean, Latrell is also fairly quick. There we go. There's the kick the kick from the Parramatta Eels. And the first tackle for the Storm will be on the 10. Will it affect the Storm? Probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all you really need is just a pass from like Munster through the gaps, and you'd probably be very hard to catch. So I think tactically it could probably, if they work to his positives, then it probably won't be too much of a factor. Now the Storm now on to the 30 for the 4th tackle, so Parramatta may have just started to wake up. Jerome Hughes now with the ball, and we brought down on the Storm 40 for the last tackle. So 8.5 now gone in this second half. High kick from the last. Lumi with pressure on him. And what a wrap-up tackle by Xavier Coates. Oh, boy. Who the coach for the Storm in 2024? Would probably still be Bellamy. They've still got some vast players. That is true. I think Bellamy's going to have that job till he's dead. Personally, it's just... Even if he is dead, he'll probably still be in the commentary box. Fourth tackle now for Parramatta as they've now crossed past the 40, still inside their own half. Hasn't been that many mistakes at the moment in this second half. It's like both teams are now starting to adapt to the conditions. Now halfway, last tackle for this. No, oh, was it? Oh, really? Is this Bellamy's last year? Well, I didn't know that. That's gonna... Bellamy. No, yeah, Bellamy. Do we think Bennett? Do we think Wayne Bennett would... I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, isn't Bennett basically... He's having this 1 year and then he's leaving... he's leaving the Dolphins. Basically, like to feed up the bloke. But I mean, I think Bennett probably might be retiring anyways. Storm now on the 35. Still from third tackle as an offload. Just shy of halfway now. I could see Bennett doing it. Shane Flanagan, sorry. Almost a break through the line there from Meaney. 35 out. Last tackle for the Storm. Goes a grubber kick for the corner. But it's going to be picked up by Gutherson. But yeah, I'd probably say Shane Flanagan. Bennett got 2 years with the Dolphins, okay. I think Shane Flanagan might actually be the main one. He used to be the Sharks coach. I genuinely think... I mean, he's currently, I think he's assistant with the Dragons. So I think genuinely there could be a possibility that Flanagan would take the Melbourne job. Paulo now brought down on the 40 for the fourth tackle. Gutherson breaks one tackle. He'll get brought down on halfway for the last tackle. There's a high kick there from the last. Right onto the 10 will be Nick Meaney. What do I think of the Tigers? I don't think they'll make the finals this year, but I think they'll go fairly well. We've got made some very good signings. It's just about putting it on the field. Storm now still trying to back to the lines here. It's the number 4 of Tunuma Pia. Gets to the 40 for the third. Now Christian Welch right on halfway for the fourth tackle. As the stream just kicked up and started. Giving it off to the right hand side now, Jerome Hughes. Gives it off to Remus Smith. It'll get brought down 35 away from the try line. Last tackle now for Melbourne. Shifts it to Jerome Hughes. Alright, okay, so if that was a penalty for Moses, then that should be that Regan Gamble-Killard tackle on Hughes should be a penalty as well. I don't get how these rules work now about like hitting a kicker late. To me, it just doesn't make much sense. So second tackle now for the Parramatta Eels. They're on the 25. In comes Sevo, and he'll be brought down onto the 30 for the third tackle. Obviously, Marcus Sevo, only a couple of days ago, or maybe even yesterday, announcing he is re-signing with the Storm. They're halfway now. Last tackle now for the Eels. Going to shift it out to the right, and it's going to be kicked by Moses. Just skipped a little bit forward because it has started to pause a little bit. Storm now on their second tackle on the 40-metre line. Is Xavier Coates. Looks a little bit worse for wear here. Asava Solomona now just getting on to halfway for the third tackle for Melbourne. Still on the left-hand side at the moment. They're going to shift it now to the middle. Jerome Hughes with the ball. They've got numbers that are on the right-hand side. If they try to just keep going out to the wing, oh, it's a strip. It's a one-on-one strip. Yes. My favourite thing in rugby league is a one-on-one strip. It just is. Oh! And there's another one! Oh, it wasn't. Oh, I thought there was a second one. It was back-to-back one-on-one strips, but Gutherson hangs on to that. It's that and Gidley underhand flick passes. Best thing in rugby league. So third tackle for the Eels now, just shy of halfway. Gets to the number 12 of Dury. 26 minutes remaining in this game. Still 6-all. Parramatta, oh, good flat ball. Good offload as well, but good tackle as well. Just overall good play. Last tackle, 45 out now for Parramatta. They go down the short-hand side. Grab a kick from Moses. Picked up by Meaney. And Meaney trying to find a gap, but he will be met up by two players and brought down on the 30. I do think if the Storm go on to win this game, I think Meaney definitely will be in the shouts for the man of the match. Decent tackle there by Penasini. Brings the Storm onto the for the second tackle on the 35. Xavier Coates is hurting. He was hunched down a couple of tackles earlier. And now he's like clutching at his arm. He could be in a little bit of trouble here. Yep, here we go. Xavier Coates. There is his left arm is dead. It's just hanging there. Could be a bit of a problem here for Melbourne. Not only with obviously Cameron Munster with his finger, but potentially now with Coates could be up. It could be an arm. It could be shoulder. Storm still have it. Last tackle with the kick. Oh! Xavier Coates almost just scored himself from a kick, and he almost grounds it, but he's lost it. But yeah, his left arm is just dangling. It was a crossfield kick. Coates, he goes up against Lumi, almost caught it. If he held on to that, that would have been a try for the Storm. Almost reminiscent of Sivo's try a couple of years ago against the Storm. Oh! Oh my days! Nelson Asofa Solomona with an absolute crunching hit. Anyway, second tackle now for Parramatta on the 40. That was it was just a clean, solid big hit. Now Parramatta now on halfway for the third tackle. It's now Jermaine Hopgood, who's had a very good game, I must say. And now Paulo will get brought down. Oh, he gets an offload off, so Parramatta's still going. Brown, and will get brought down 35 away from the try line for the fourth tackle on the left-hand side. Trying to cut it down now into the middle. They've been streaming for 2 hours and 17 minutes. 25 out now. I think it's last tackle. Gutherson, grubber kick. No chases, but Meaney's going to get the ball. And he'll get it brought down on the 20. But yeah, Nick Meaney is having probably one of the best games I've seen. And Humes has just dragged him out. Okay, sorry. So Jerome Hughes was on the ground and he gets picked up and dragged by Marcus Sivo out on the field. Hughes is appealing that he was on the ground. No, the tackle wasn't completed. Yep, well played there by Marcus Sivo, just dragging him out. The tackle wasn't complete. So about 35 metres out from the try line, Parramatta with a full set of 6 and a chance to take back the lead from what has basically been a game that would be described as a battle of attrition, to say the very least. So Paulo gets the first hit up and he'll be brought down 25 away for the first tackle. Almost around the high shot there. Now it's the number 8 of Campbell Gillard. We get brought down on the 20 for the second tackle, as we now got 22 minutes remaining in this second half. Goes to the left-hand side, Dylan Brown. Now to Cartwright. He'll be brought down 10 out on the far right-hand side now. Third tackle. Dylan Brown. For Hodgson. Hodgson sees a pass to Paulo, and the big fella's going to go over. Oh, did he? Did he? I don't know if he's properly gotten that down, but a brilliant flat pass by Hodgson to see the wide open Junior Paulo who burrows over. It's 10-6 with the kick to come. I just want to check to see if they've if Junior Paulo's actually grounded that. We're just going to check it. Hodgson just sees like the line. It's like the Storm line completely collapsed in on itself. Let's have a look. No! Oh! Yeah, oh, he gets it right on his back. Just the tip, but very close to being a stoppage there from the Storm. But there we go, 10 points to 6 to Parramatta, and it's Junior Paulo after a really good play there by Josh Hodgson. So there we go. So a try has happened for Parramatta. It's been the first try in about 20 minutes for him. 30 actually, sorry. But there we go. Who scored for Eels? It was Josh Papali. For Storm it was Nick Meaney. Rui? Yeah, I had Remus to score for Melbourne. I'm using a multi. Yeah. I think it's still a try, but they're just getting a lot of reviews. It's like the Storm's line on the right-hand side just completely overcommitting. But here's the kick now from Moses. And he's got it. It's 12 points to 6 with 20 minutes remaining from Parramatta, making it 5 straight, I believe, over the Storm, and giving Craig Bellamy his first round 1 loss of his career at Melbourne. Just about gets the ball on the ground there, Paulo. One thing I will say is I think Nick Meaney definitely deserves some points, to say the least. I think Xavier Coates is now coming off the field now. Yep, he's coming off. It must be something to do maybe with his elbow, his leg, as kickoff's now been done by the Storm. They need Olam. Yeah, I agree. I think potentially could be very different outcome if Olam did play. Olam was another player that I did have in my fantasy, but he was not selected. I think he's injured. I think it's what happened. He wasn't selected. He wasn't selected, but he was injured. It's a left shoulder. So there we go. Oh, what's going on here? There we are. So Xavier Coates, apparently it's his left shoulder, which is, that could be a bit of a problem. I mean, probably is. Isn't it Coates like the one where he kept getting injured? It was his ankle, wasn't it? That was the problem. But anyways, now the Storm. Now it's the number 14 that's come on. It's Wishart. He'll get brought down on the 15 for the first tackle. Oh, Jeriah Mamasi is now on the field, the former Knights player. Good to see him getting some game time. He actually did fairly well in the trial against the Knights. Good to see you getting some game time. At a fairly important in time with about 21 minutes, 19 minutes remaining in the game. Now the number 4 here, it's Tunua Mapia. Just shy of halfway now for the 4th tackle. Storm now going through the middle, gives it off to Jerome Hughes. Flat ball out to Remus Smith. Just gets absolutely bodied by Will Penasini. 45 away from the try line now. Last tackle, it's a high kick. Not that many chases for Melbourne, but it's taken by Gutherson. He tries to get wrapped up by Harry Grant, and Grant holds him well, and Munster gets in on him. Now Lumi. Oh, and the ball's popped out! Asofa Solomona! He's gone! He's forced a massive mistake from Lumi, and the ball has gone to him, and he's just burrowed over, but they're going to review this. I mean, it's going to be a knock-on anyways, but they're just going to check to see if it is a double knock-on. It'll be Storm's ball regardless from 10 metres out, but here we go. Lumi with the ball. Asofa Solomona coming in with the tackle, and the ball is popped out, and it's touched a Melbourne player and gone forward. So it's going to be a Melbourne Storm scrum, but yeah, Sofa Solomona are almost getting a try there. So yeah, there we go. Double knock on, so play can't continue. Olam is injured, yep. What a moment for him, but yep, no try. But it's going to be a scrum feed, 10 metres out for the Storm, so they might as well score here anyways. So here we go, just weighing up scrum, 10 metres out now for Melbourne. Which side will they go? They'll go to the left. Feints the pass, and it's the... Oh! He's there! The number 4, Tunumapia, goes over. An absolute dummy of the century, and that's going to be given. So Tunumapia goes over on the first tackle of the scrum, and it's 12-10 with the kick to come. Feints one. That's a brilliant sell of an offload. Trying to figure out who that Storm player is. It might be Munster. Just Feints giving it to a Sofa Solomona. I think he flicks it up like he's giving it to him, but it's come back down to him. That's brilliant. So there we go. Just trying to get a refresh here. 12-10 now to Parramatta. But Melbourne with a chance to tie the game. Just trying to refresh at the moment. So yep, try confirmed. Tunumapia getting his first try. But yeah, Lumi is I think the Storm have found their pressure boy. Why is this not refreshing? I don't understand what this internet's being a bit brazy at the moment. It's just not refreshing this But just what a play there by Munster. Bear with me, here we go. Here's the kickoff now. Kick from Meaney, sorry. Right from the sideline. No tougher kick. This to make it 12 all. Oh, he has nailed it. Beautiful kick. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this refreshed, but it is 12 all between Parramatta and Melbourne. Just trying to figure out why the internet's just taking so long to actually get the score up. It's been ridiculous on why this is happening now. Just trying to get a refresher. I do apologise, but I might need to actually get a physical scoreline going. This Parramatta has now kicked off. We've got 16 minutes remaining, and it's a tied game. Thoughts on last year's Pacific Test? I don't think I watched them, unfortunately, so I can't really comment on them. Bear with me quickly for a second. Melbourne have got the ball on the 25 for the second tackle. I now have to do an actual scoreline because this thing is just straight up not loading. Parramatta now at the 40. Melbourne now at the 40, sorry. Parramatta Eels. Yeah, no, that's massive, but pressure on the kick. And the Storm are just coming in. The Storm have got the momentum here at the moment. Why is this just... I do apologise for this, but this is completely out of my control at the moment. Oh, hang on. Okay. Okay. That can piss off. Why is shit just randomly dragging? No, just get rid of this image. There we go. Match center. Load. We can somewhat see it, but it's 12 all. This has actually just been... Everything's just... That could go wrong, is going wrong. But Parramatta, last tackle. It's a kick right on the 40-metre line, but it's going to be taken... I believe it's by Wishart. And he will get the hit up. And it's a high shot. It's a penalty to Melbourne. And time has paused. Oh, God. Storm player absolutely cut open around the eye. It was a high shot, but they had to stop time because there's a Melbourne player bleeding quite badly. Garlick's now going to come on the field, the number 19 for Melbourne. Can this... I don't understand why this is being so fucking slow. No, don't need NRL fantasy, just NRL. Trying to get some scoreline up. Okay. Credits to you for commentating. Cheers, man. I'm just trying to figure out a way to actually... Please check your score. Yeah, I know. It's just the scoreboard for some reason just deciding not to actually update. And it's been pissing me off. But now I'm just trying to get this up. There we go. I know it hasn't got the logos up, but that is kind of the best I can do at the moment when it comes to actually... I'll just have to give out what the time is. For all I know, it probably was actually low. Even this still... Yeah, the play's still down on the ground from bleeding, but it's still saying 12 points to 6, but now we've got... Just use this. I'm sorry, but this is the best I can do. It still says Eels and Storm, but time has stopped because of this blood bin. Players going down left and right. Is this another player bleeding? Yeah, Young Ton of Apia. So you've got 2 players from Melbourne have been busted open. Or this is... No, it's the same bloke, sorry. So he's going to have to come off here for the blood bin. So the Storm will get the ball. 45 away from the try line. Hey, Jesse. Who's this? Who's this bloke? No, name doesn't look familiar. So 35 out from the try line now, 6 from the second tackle. I'm looking at the scores, and it doesn't have the logos. Yeah, they just don't have them on, because this is just the Google one, so you just have to... Light blues Parramatta, dark blues Melbourne. 4th tackle now for the Storm. They'll go to the right-hand side. 5 metres away from the try line now. Last tackle for Melbourne. Huge chance here. They'll go to the right-hand side. Hughes. Cross kick up here. There's a bit of pressure. And it's Sevo who bats it back a mile away. And it's a goal line dropout now to... Like, I'm trying to put in like NRL.com, which is what I usually use for the logos, but it's just not loading, unfortunately. Please also the time. Gutherson's gone short, but it's only gone to the 20, so Melbourne will get the ball again. That's the thing. You can only just about see it. It's like... It says 67th, but it's very close. I just have to keep repeating what the time is. Second tackle for Melbourne now. 10 metres out. They'll go one-upman's onto the left. It's the number 19 of Garlic. Third tackle. Now Melbourne go to the right-hand side. Hughes gets wrapped up by Paulo and put back to the 10 now. Fourth tackle for Melbourne. And they shift it now to the short right-hand side, but they come back down through the middle. Who is this barnstormer? It's the number 12. It's Elisa Gattal, but he's short of the line now. Last tackle for Melbourne. Hughes feints going for a golden point. And the knock on there. But it's a potential line break. But Gutherson, I think, gets charged down there very well. But then again, that could have been very much a chance there for Melbourne there to get at least some form of points. Just going to see if this will start to work. And Penasini, is that blood now for Penasini? Or is it just a high shot? I've genuinely never seen the NRL website being so... Oh, it's a head clash. It's a head clash between Munster and Penasini. We couldn't load the draw. Well... Like, genuinely on this, it still says 12 points to 6. Unfortunately. So, still first tackle now for Parramatta. It was just a head clash. It wasn't anything too serious. But here we go. 11 minutes 10 remaining in this matchup. Paulo, Brown. Now to Penasini. And now time is stopping again. What's now going on? That's a HIA. Will Penasini's going to have a HIA, but the thing is, though, if that's going to be the case, then shouldn't it also be Munster because he was also involved in the head clash? So second tackle now from the... Also, it's another paused tackle, but we keep on going here. I'm a munch, I'd probably say. Third tackle now for Parramatta on halfway. Getting out to the left-hand side here, trying to find... This could go to golden point. I actually wouldn't be shocked if it does at this point. Fourth tackle now for Parramatta. They're 35 out on the far right-hand side. Moses goes for a high kick. Parramatta still with the ball, trying to get a pass out. It's bottled and it's been picked up by the Storm on the 30. Now number 2 there, it's Warbrick. It's Melbourne now starting to make a charge down the halfway on the 30. Halfway on the third tackle, sorry. Got to load out and back out this... So Storm now, I think they're 30 metres out now. And it's the last tackle. Jerome Hughes now with a high kick. Trying to see something, trying to get it. And it's been taken very well there by the number 4 of Waka Blake. .35 out now as Cartwright now with the ball. Just practicing for 5 minutes time, yeah, fair enough. There'll still be 4 minutes time added on here. Now as Regan Campbell-Gillard gets brought down on halfway for the last tackle. Moses still going to go for a run, but he goes for a grubber kick, maybe trying to get decent field position. And Meaney lets it run out at the 15, so time will start to calm down here. That's the guy's son with a crying emoji for $1.50. Thank you very much, Kai. that is sweet. For your next bet, that is fair enough. That's a fair cop. Why don't you watch it on Sky Sports? Sky Sports isn't a thing in Australia, unfortunately. I think Sky Sports is probably only in New Zealand / oh, there we go. There's a notification. Thank you, Kai Sunner. Munster now on the 4th tackle. 3rd tackle on the 40, actually. Now this will be the 4th tackle now right on halfway. Ignore them, they're pests. Hughes. Munster now just getting held up about 45 away now. We've got 7.5 minutes from minute away. God's sake. Just Holmes, that's the thing, you got to start questioning when you start going for field goals. Sevo gets the kick from the last tackle. Just going to back out to start the stream and get to start the actual need to feed the kids. But still, the Storm holding Parramatta still deep in their own half. So fairly well at the moment. This is now the 4th tackle now on the 35. Still for the Eels. Now last tackle on the halfway line now for Gufferson. Can get them 2 soft serves. Thank you, Rowan, for the $1.49 super chat reaction. God's sake. There's the last tackle kick. It only go as far as the 25. Oh! Oh my God, he's lost it. The Storm player has lost it. Who is it? I think it's Wishart. So here we go. 6 minutes remaining. 30. I can't do that, guys. 30 metres out. A huge chance for Parramatta to at least either go for a golden point. Either go for a golden point or try to get a try, because you think if a try might seal it. There's a bit of a look in between Wishart and Meany, a bit of a miscommunication. 5 minutes 40 remaining. Here comes a scrum from Parramatta. Now they're going to go to the left-hand side now. Sevo! Grubber kicks! Eddie's grubber kick too heavy. It's a 20-minute restart to Melbourne. Are you backing the best horse ever this weekend, Eduardo? Go Tuck. Oh, for fuck's sake, why is she here? Hello, Hannah. No, I can't talk to women even digitally. This is ridiculous. Thank you again, Ron, for $1.49 super chat. I can actually do that one. So 0 tackle now. 25 out from the try line. And now the Storm have lost it. What the fuck is going on? The Storm lose it. On the first tackle, grubber kick goes dead from Sevo. And now the Storm have lost it again. So less than 5 minutes remaining in this game. It's another scrum feed in favour of the Parramatta Eels, probably about 25-30 metres out. So here we go. Could this be the... I feel like at this point, just go for the field goal now. So 4 minutes 20 remaining on the 30. The Storm get the tackle on the 30 for the first tackle. As Parramatta, the crowd's starting to properly get into this game. Now Campbell Gillard now brought down 25 away from the second tackle. Good to see the NRL's back. Very much so. Thank you, Hannah, for the top dono, for the top super chat of the night. Third tackle now, 15 out. It's Campbell Gillard now 10 metres away from the try line. Fourth tackle. They're going to go for the field goal. And it's been body down, and the Storm have it. It's not been played up on the hands. I'll have that $1.99 back later. Righto. Oh, no. Oh, hang on. Oh, no. That's not a bone exposed out of the leg, is it? So, Storm player bleeding from the leg. Great charge down of the kick, but a Storm player is bleeding from the leg. I hope his bone hasn't been like exposed or anything. I don't think it's that bad, but a big moment there from the Melbourne Storm here. 3 minutes 22 remaining in the first tackle. That could potentially be a moment that wins the game. But now the Storm need to get field position, because at the moment the momentum is probably in Parramatta's favour. It's like, I think he's got like a cut in his knee. I feel like such a whore. Thank you, Rowan, for the $3 super chats. I feel like a woman on on Twitch. Last tackle now for the Storm. 40 metres out. They try to think about going, but they get it away. And it's a grubber kick that hasn't gone well, and it's been picked up by Dory. He'll be brought down on the 35 for the first tackle for Parramatta. Can you say vibes for me? Okay. Vibes. 6 times. Okay. Vibes. 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 Parramatta now. Second tackle. Parramatta now got probably the best field position at the moment. Paula now brought down on halfway. Thank you, Kai, for now the top super chatter for the $4 super chat. Third tackle, fourth tackle now, 40 out. Go right through the guts now. 2 minutes remaining. This will be a 45 metres out kick. No, they go for the try. Dylan Brown gets the pass out. Oh, it's a knock on by Cartwright. And Melbourne. What's happening here? So now Melbourne are over the sideline. Is this? No, it's a change over near to Melbourne. I've donated $6 so far. You've only donated $5. Well, thanks for the overall top, Rowan. 90 seconds remaining. You've got to have a big set here from Melbourne. If not, then we are most likely going to golden dropout. 25 away now. That's Warwick with the first hit up. 90 seconds remaining in this match before potential golden dropout. Third tackle now. I think it's Josh King. Penalty Melbourne! Penalty Melbourne for a ruck infringement. Here we go. This is going to be interesting. Captain's challenge here from Parramatta. They've got a captain's challenge. They're trying to see if there was impediment on the play. If there was a ruck infringement. If there is, this will give a very huge chance for Melbourne to win this game. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's put his hand there. Yeah, and his foot's dragged it back. Thank you guys, Sana, for the 3 super chat. Thoughts on James Tedesco's comment on Squid Game? Yeah, a bit controversial. Challenge unsuccessful. So it is going to be a penalty still to Melbourne with a minute left. This can put with a kick into touch, probably around the 40, will give them perfect position with a full set to get the field goal to win the game. So Jerome Hughes kicks it out of touch, and the ball will be placed on halfway. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. Here we go. And that's the thing. Melbourne have not lost a round one. And a game with Craig Bellamy at the helm. And this could continue depending on what the next 38 seconds see. 35 out for the second tackle. They just got to take forwards right up the guts. Josh King brought down 20 away from the line. Third tackle. Given back to Munster. Munster with the kick. And it's been scuffed. And it's been taken by Waka Blake. And he's been kept it in play. The kick has been charged down. There's 10 seconds remaining, and Parramatta will hang on. It's a penalty to Parramatta. They have to do it quickly. So they'll kick into touch, and they'll have one play. So Waka Blake wrong. Cool. So here we go. One play for Parramatta before Golden Point. They're 60 away from the try line. High bomb. That's gone backwards. The Storm have got it. Gets a pass off. And Munster, still passing it. It's still going. I think you could make a case for it being held. But they're down on the right-hand side. The Storm are just running around with it. The siren has sounded. They don't know what to do. And it'll be held. We go to Golden Point. After all of this, we don't have a winner. And it's going to go to 10 minutes of Golden Point. And if not, it just goes straight to a draw. But wow. 80 minutes, 12 all. We get Golden Point once again. I mean, this is probably the first time I've had Golden Point in ages, in complete fairness. I actually just can't believe this whole situation. What I'm going to use now. Yeah, that's fair. So, full time. 12 all. Moses had a kick charge down, and so did one of the Parramatta, one of the Storm's kicks. Munster just missed it. So here we go to kick off the season. I don't think the last time the opening game went to Golden Point would have been that 2012 game between the Knights and the Dragons. Well, that was when Wayne Bennett was first game with the Knights. So coin toss has happened, and I believe it might be Parramatta getting first ball. Wish Justin Olam and Coates were playing. But here we go. Golden Point. Imagine that. The first game of the season's a draw. That would be funny. That would actually be really funny. Shows how close it is. That no one even won. Calm down, Dobbs. Just chill. So by the way it's looking, Parramatta will be getting the ball first. The Storm will be kicking off. 5-minute halves. I've been streaming. If this goes on for the full thing, we'll be streaming for 3 hours this game. But here we go. 1 point will decide it. Next score wins. Parramatta versus Melbourne after 80 minutes. The Storm will kick it off. Munster got a fracture in his ring finger on his left. And there's the kickoff. It's Z, not Z. It's Campbell Gillard who takes the first hit up for Parramatta as we kick off the first half of extra time. Down to the 25 for the second. Now to Junior Paulo, who will get brought down on the 30. That's Paolo, sorry. I just realised, yeah, they had a whole video of the pronunciations. Now Dury, brought down on the 40 for the fourth tackle. So they haven't got field position here. It's an offload here. Gutherson with the ball. Gutherson, try to get a pass. They'll be brought down 45 away from the try line. Last tackle for Parramatta. They'll go down the right-hand side. They'll go for a grubber kick. But the bounce does go in favour of Nick Meaney. They'll be brought down on the 20 for the first tackle for Melbourne. As if 1 minute of extra time is now gone. Hughes now with the ball. Hughes splits the line. Can't fully get through though. And the Storm will get to halfway for the third tackle. Huge chance here for the Storm. Just need 2 good runs. That's the first one. Harry Grant 35 away from the try line. They'll go down right through the middle again. Down to the 20. Here we go. Probably about 30 metres out. Nick Meaney with the kick. And he's missed it. But it's still in play. And it's gone out. It's going to be a 20-metre restart and a 7-tackle set for Parramatta. He's missed the kick. I was waiting to see a reaction because the angles are pretty bad. But here to try to see if he's got it. So here we go. Campbell Gillard on the 30 for the 0. So a chance here for Parramatta to get into somewhat good field position to get golden point. To get a field goal to win the game. Now Hopgood now with the ball, who's had an amazing game for Parramatta. Second tackle just shy of halfway. They've got good field position coming up here. Paulo with a ridiculous pass. Moses picks it back at the 45 inside. Oh, that's a knock on by Dylan Brown. Storm has still got the ball now. Hughes. And it should be a 0 tackle for Melbourne on the 40. What has happened there to Parramatta? Absolute complete miscommunication from a terrible pass and a misreading of trying to take the pass. But here we go. 20 metres out now. Second tackle for Melbourne. They don't feed it back yet. Now Melbourne at the 10. Do they feed it back yet? No, they don't. They're going to go for the try. He's there! Harry Grant has scored a try. And that will do it. He goes up the gut and reaches over and puts the dagger into the Parramatta Eels. Melbourne 16, Parramatta 12. Melbourne continue their round 1 streak. And there we go. The Storm win their game, and that's the whistle gone. They're probably just reviewing the try, but that is it. The Storm have won 13 points to 12. Not 13 points to 12, 16 points to 12. Sorry, just trying to get the lift up. Yeah, but it hasn't updated yet. But Harry Grant burrows over 2 tackles, keeps the arm up in the air and plants it on the line. And what a moment there for Melbourne. After an absolute battle of attrition, the Melbourne Storm continue their round 1 winning streak. And that's what to remember. Last time these 2 teams played in Golden Point, it was Parramatta that got the try. And right then and there, Melbourne get the try and secure what has been an absolute war to open the season for 2023. Just a brilliant run from dummy half there from Harry Grant. And there we go. That was too much energy for me for the opening game of the season. That's just nuts. Okay, so now we're going to go just quickly go through in terms of NRL fantasy. We'll just quickly go through that and see how we did. Was a bit worried with Munster about him obviously being taken off the field, but he did come back on. He got 88 points as captain for me. Will Penasini got me 48 points. Elisa Gattel with 42, but Jermaine Hopgood off the bench with 86. That is very good. And we've got a total score of 264 already just from 4 players. I think we've done very well there, to say the very least. In terms of my tips, that's I didn't get it. I've lost the first one. I did say Parramatta win. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Neither is that. So this was my I got rid of my bet, but basically none of my bets hit. None of the try scorers I want scored, and none of the the team I picked to win didn't win. But there we go. What a stream, and we're just about to roughly hit 3 hours of streaming. Thank you all for watching. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning with the with the Warrington Wolves versus the Salford Red Devils if you are up that early. But I will be doing the double header on the NRL tomorrow. The Warriors and the Knights up against the Penrith Panthers and the Brisbane Broncos. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully see you there. If not, just thank you for coming out. What's this last question you want, Rowan? He just doesn't ask me the question. But yeah, wow. Yeah, so anyways, that's the 3 hours.